It's the season opener in Lynchburg, Virginia. Welcome to Williams Stadium, site of tonight's action as the Liberty Flames host the top 25 Syracuse Orange. Brett McGibbon here alongside Pat Kelly, Des Rice, and Matt Kamari, and we are excited for this one. Once again, the season opener here between the Liberty Flames and the Syracuse Orange. And big news coming down, and that is that head coach Hugh Freeze not going to be on the sidelines tonight. He's going to be up in the booth. And we take a look at that, guys. You know, not having your boss, the guy, on the sidelines, what does that do to a team? What effect is that going to have?
I think the troops are going to be rallied. I think Liberty's going to want to play for Coach Freeze and welcome him to Lynchburg with a win. I think they're going to play just as hard as they would if he was on the sideline.
I think it's going to be really interesting. If you look at interim coaches over the last 15 years, they're 33 and 34 when the head coach isn't on the sideline. So I definitely think it's going to require this team is going to have to come together, and it's not going to be easy, especially with Freeze up in the press box.
It's certainly a challenge to overcome, especially when you have a coach like Hugh Freeze who has so much energy, and his guys really, feed off of that energy that he brings to the sideline. So it's definitely a challenge to overcome.
What's this going to be like, though, for Buckshot? In my mind, you think a new offense, is a lot more reads in the Freeze system. Is it going to be the hardest on him?
I think it is going to be hard because with Buckshot, the thing is you don't want your quarterback to have to think and think and think. You want him to be able to take the snap, get the ball where it needs to go. So this could be tough for Buckshot. New offense coming into this year.
Well, let's turn now to our impact players on today, and we're going to take a look here at Andre Cisco for the Orange. And this is a guy, he's a turnover magnet. He's a ball hawk.
This guy is unbelievable. You look at his stats from last year. As a true freshman, led the entire country with 7 interceptions. Keep in mind the conference that he plays in. Clemson, the national champions. Have we heard of those guys? So he led the entire country, led the conference. This guy is absolutely unbelievable. Comes into this season as a preseason All-American as well. This is a guy that he's going to be all over the field. It's going to be an exciting time to watch him tonight.
And Des, when we look at the Flames AGG, this is the moment to shine for him, I believe, because you're going up against a great secondary for the Orange, and he has an opportunity here to prove that he's one of the top receivers in the nation.
Absolutely, and Antonio Gandy-Golden, he has hopes to play in the NFL one day. Well, if he wants to get noticed by scouts, this is the game to do it. He's going up against a guy like Andre Cisco, we just noted there. He's got to dominate in games like this. He has to play well. It's really important for him here today.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how Buckshot and AGG connect through the night. Also, it's going to be fun to watch as both lines here defensively for both sides. And we have got guys that just love to get after the quarterback. There are some pass rushers here that are noteworthy. And, Matt, we look to you. And just these guys, you've got Coleman, you got Robertson, both had 10-plus sacks last season. You got Jesse Lemonnier for the Flames. These guys are top-end dogs. What's tonight's game going to be like?
Oh, it's going to be trench warfare. The tackles have their work cut out for him. Robinson, 6'4", 260, stud. And he will slow play sometimes off the line. Kendall Coleman will actually shade down the line, follow the ball a little bit more, and stand up. Jesse Lemonnier just has to do what he did last year. Continue to be physical, continue to attack the tackles with his hands, and continue to play fast.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. As we said, both sides play a really high-tempo style of play. We're going to see it here in just a sec. When we come back, it's Matt Warner and Joe Yock with the call.
The Foster Fuels app makes propane easy and makes more time for what matters. Without the app...
Hi, I'd like to order some propane, please.
With the app...
Hi!
Sign up for autofill or autopay and manage your account with our Foster Fuels app. Just one more way we're providing exceptional customer service.
Carter Bank & Trust has supported Liberty University for over 3 decades. When many were skeptical of Liberty's vision, our founder, Worth Harris Carter Jr., understood the vision and saw its potential. His instincts were correct. Liberty University has become a regional economic engine. We continue Mr. Carter's legacy by working with determined visionaries to transform potentials into realities every day. As with Liberty University, Carter Bank & Trust is proud of the past, focused on the future.
2019 season kicks off with the biggest game ever played in Lynchburg, Virginia, as the 22nd ranked Syracuse Orange invade Williams Stadium to take on the Liberty Flames. And with that, we welcome you up into the booth alongside former North Carolina NCAAF wide receiver Joe Yock. I'm Matt Warner. And Joe, what a day for this Liberty program. A day of firsts. First time ever welcoming in a Power 5 program. First time ever hosting a top 25 team. And the first game as head coach for Hugh Freeze of the Flames here. And I'll tell you, they have their work cut out for them today because this Syracuse team is the real deal.
Yeah, they are the real deal. First of all, Matt, it's college football season. Let's get it on. That's right. So I'll tell you what, the one thing you'll say about Syracuse is that they have built a solid football program. They are good offensively, they are good defensively, and they are good on special teams. This is going to be a fun game and a fun day at Williams Stadium.
Liberty won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so they will kick it away, and it will sail out the back of the end zone. So Syracuse will start with the football. And their young quarterback, Tommy DeVito, making his first appearance as a starter. Got a lot of action last season as he backed up Eric Dungy, who was injured on and off throughout the year. And Joe, he's new to his starting gig, but how much does the experience gained a year ago help him stepping on the field right now?
Oh, no question at all. And Syracuse knows this kid can play. This kid can play. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He's got weapons surrounded all around him. And so we all know this kid can play.
Four-star kid out of New Jersey. O'Neal with him in the backfield as Syracuse runs their first offensive play. They hand it to Neal. He's hit, wrapped up after a short 2-yard gain. Solomon Ajayi, the linebacker for the Flames, coming up to help bring him down.
Yeah, you expect the Syracuse to do exactly what they did right there. They want to try to run the ball right up the middle, start off with a little trap play coming right up the middle. So you're going to try to see them really move the ball on the ground today.
Both of these offenses expected to be high tempo. Fake the handoff, the throw out wide, tackle made in space, and that's going to bring up 3rd and short for Syracuse.
Yeah, if you're ever going to have a time for Liberty in the front of the home crowd, you get them into a 3rd and short. Can you get a stop right here and get off the field at the beginning of the game? Big down for them.
This crowd at Williams Stadium coming alive. The handoff, up the gut, hit. Looks like maybe on second effort he was able to get there. We'll take a look at that spot. It's going to be a little bit close. It's going to be short, actually, it looks like. So, yeah, 4th and about half a yard.
Ooh.
So decision time already for Dino Babers.
Quick, Matt. That's a quick one. They are going for it on 4th and half a yard. Or they could potentially just trying to draw Liberty off sides in the emotion of the game early on.
No, this could be a huge play already out of the gate. If you don't pick it up here, you hand the Flames some great field position. Vito in the shotgun. You said it, Joe, maybe.
Yeah, is it
trying
for
to
real?
see if they get somebody to jump.
There's the flag.
And they'll take the delay of game. Listen to this crowd.
Penalty, 4th down.
Well, that is best case scenario for Liberty and this defense, a defense that was much maligned. They really struggled a year ago, gave up almost 37 points per game, 119th in the country, but they come out here tonight and a 3-and-out to begin the ball game.
Yeah, that's just what the doctor ordered for the Flames, but yet at the same time, the thing that Dino Babers knows, he's got, you could argue, the best punter in the country right here, and he can play the field position game and be patient.
Special teams are key, certainly, for this Syracuse squad. Their punter, Sterling Hofrichter, in there now to get one away. High spiraling punt. DJ Stubbs backpedaling. Flag down as he takes it to 16, coming near side, cutting it up. Has some room, gets free. Stubbs now angling further to the sideline across the 40 and bumped out at the 44. But a flag is down. We'll see what that's all about as Stubbs delivers a nice return.
DJ Stubbs is a weapon. He not only just delivered a nice return.
Holding, number 35, return team.
So a hold on the Flames. That'll back them up.
1st down.
10 yards and still decent field position as they get set to start their first drive.
DJ Stubbs showed great strength breaking through 2 tackles. He's not a huge guy, but I'll tell you what, he's a strong guy.
Here's a look at Buckshot Calvert, senior quarterback for Liberty, record-setting quarterback. holds the career touchdown records for the Flames and really has a chance to rewrite the entire record book this year for Liberty. Although coming off a season in which turnovers were an issue, 18 interceptions a year ago, up big from his sophomore campaign. That has been something that Hugh Freeze and his staff have been hammering all really off-season and into fall camp. You have to take care of the football.
Yeah, and what a terrible way to take a penalty on a punt return.
Yeah, I see the starting lineup there for Liberty as Flames now backed up inside their own 10 after that penalty. Buckshot looking downfield, slings it out wide towards Kevin Shaw, and it sailed wide of his target. As we take a look at the Syracuse defense, this is a nasty group. This is a group that will turn you over. They will get after you. They had 43 sacks a year ago, 7th in the country, forced 31 turnovers. And it's a group that has, from what we've heard, dominated their own offense all camp long. Again, Buckshot looking downfield, looking for Gandy Golden, and threw it a little far out in front of him. So a couple of passes from Calvert early, and he's been off the target with both of them.
Yeah, you can see that Syracuse comes right out of the gate playing press man coverage. They're going to bring people at Buckshot, and they're going to dare their receivers to try to beat them in man-to-man with those two big studs on the outside, Alton Robinson and Coleman. It's a fierce group on that defense.
They're going to be coming now off the edge. 3rd and 10. Calvert has some time, swings it out of the backfield, and it's dropped by Frankie Hickson. So a sloppy start for this Flames offense as they're not able to even pick up a single yard on their first offensive series. And now they're going to be punting it back to Syracuse, and they should end up with some pretty good field position out of it.
Yeah, I really like what Syracuse did right there, Matt. They played man-to-man on first down, man-to-man on second down, and then get him in 3rd and long, only brought 3 and went into the zone.
Aiden Alvis in to punt it away. He had his struggles certainly a year ago. He's going to be tested right out of the gate. End over end punt. Sean Riley, dangerous returner, takes it just on his side of the 50. Trying to get outside now, cuts it up, hit, drop, ball's loose, picked up by the Flames. A fumble by Riley, it's scooped up by Liberty at the 50.
What a great play by the outside wingman who was able to force Riley back inside where all the help was. He wouldn't allow him to use his speed to get to the outside, forced him back to the inside. Bang, there's a hit, ball's loose, Liberty football.
Ryan Davis on the recovery. We talked so much this week leading up to the game about the special teams play of Syracuse, but it's a special teams play from Liberty that has them in great field position. We're coming back, no score in the first quarter.
This Jeep Gladiator is ready to do what you want to do. There's never been anything quite like the all-new Jeep Gladiator. Engineered from the ground up to be a true pickup truck. Backed by legendary Jeep brand 4x4 capability, the Gladiator is ready to carry you and your gear. Test drive a Jeep today at Craft Jeep. No tricks, no gimmicks pricing at Billy Craft, Chrysler Dodge, Jeep Ram.
For more than 120 years, we've been there. In churches and schools, camps and senior living centers. We've been there in times of joy and in the most difficult moments, in times of loss. And our success has been measured not by the bottom line, but by our unwavering commitment to protecting our customers so they can continue their important work. Church Mutual Insurance Company, protecting the greater good.
The Foster Fuels app makes propane easy and makes your granny feel hip.
What you doing over there, Sonny?
I'm just posting a picture from our beach trip. What are you doing, Granny?
Ordering propane with the Foster Fuels app.
Whoa, you use apps now?
Yeet! This app is lit!
Order fuel and manage your account with our Foster Fuels app. Just one more way we're providing exceptional customer service.
What? Did I not say it right?
Carter Bank & Trust has supported Liberty University for over 3 decades. When many were skeptical of Liberty's vision, our founder, Worth Harris Carter Jr., understood the vision and saw its potential. His instincts were correct. Liberty University has become a regional economic engine. We continue Mr. Carter's legacy by working with determined visionaries to transform potentials into realities every day. As with Liberty University, Carter Bank & Trust is proud of the past, focused on the future.
Here's a look at that fumble a moment ago. It was Javon Scruggs getting in there, as well as I think it was Tyron Dupree that got in there as well to jar it loose. Sean Riley putting it on the turf. Flames scoop it up, and now they're in business at their own 49.
Sean Scruggs made a game-changing play right there by being able to force Riley back inside and have the opportunity to create the fumble.
So Flames have it now after going 3 and out. The offense not really able to get on track. Really new life here as they have great field position. Calvert gives it off. Running near side is Pickett. Pickett has some room to run across the Syracuse 40. Peyton Pickett taking his first handoff and picking up a Flames first down.
See, Matt, that's what Liberty has to do. They have to be able to run the football, especially if you're getting played man-to-man. You can run those receivers off and then get the ball up through that first wave.
Pickett remains in the game. They give it, nope, pull it out, throw it downfield, caught by Gandy Golden. He's carrying a man with him down to the 20-yard line. Fatu Melifonwu on the coverage, but Gandy Golden getting involved here early on.
Great ball fake by Buckshot, being able to get those linebackers suckered in.
And that's part of this, one of the staples of this Hugh Freeze offense is that little wide receiver screen didn't go anywhere. Kevin Shaw dropped for a couple-yard loss. And now we have an injured player down for Syracuse. Looks like a defensive lineman. They're already a little light on that D-line already. McKinley Williams out with an injury it suffered in camp, and now that's Kenneth Ruff, defensive tackle, senior. He's down on the field right now being tended to. Well, we mentioned Hugh Freeze not on the field. Liberty's new head coach, he is watching from the box. That is the man, Maurice Harris, co-offensive coordinator, that's running the show on the field. So he's kind of assuming some of those head coaching duties on the field, if you will, while Hugh Freeze watches from a hospital bed up here on our level. We'll actually catch up with him at halftime to get his thoughts. A strange situation as he had back surgery and terrible staph infection that was really kind of dangerous. As you take a look, you can see Coach stretched out there. A unique situation, to say the least, as he's doing everything he can to help his squad, although not healthy.
Nobody's competing harder than Coach right now.
That's right. Second down for Liberty. The handoff going again to Pickett, and nowhere to run this time. He's dropped for a couple-yard loss. And the Flames, after getting down to the 20, have moved the wrong direction these last two plays.
I like that Liberty's trying to make a commitment to run the football. You can't come out and say, hey, we're going to throw it every down. You got to be able to, even sometimes you don't get a yard, get only but a yard or two. You got to be able to commit to run the football, which will open up other things in your offense.
Flames substitute in another receiver now. 3rd and 15. They go 3 to the right side of Calvert, 1 to the left. Pickett remains in the backfield. Syracuse was just 3 down linemen. Calvert climbs in the pocket, looking, firing, in and out of the hands of DJ Stubbs. He was trying to go somewhere before he had that one corralled, and it'll bring up 4th down now, and the field goal team comes on.
I really like what Buckshot did there. He sat in the pocket, he was patient, it was only a 3-man rush, so he knew he had time, and then he didn't try to force anything. Don't try to force something downfield that can get intercepted. DJ just has to make the play to create a shorter field goal. Liberty has the first opportunity to get points on the board.
42-yard attempt now for Alex Probert. He was 4 of 5 in an injury-shortened season a year ago. Kick is away, it is up, and he missed it. Just pushed it a little bit in a missed opportunity for the Flames here in the early going. They had an opportunity to put the first points on the board, unable to do it, and we remain scoreless here in Lynchburg.
Geico makes it easy to get help when I need it. With licensed agents available 24/7, it's not just easy. It's having Jerome Bettis on your flag football team easy. Go get him, Bus!
Geico. Licensed agents available 24/7.
Naomi Osaka takes on Coco Gauff tonight on ESPN2.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN+.
Donald Sterling was the slumlord of sports.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you're associating with black people.
Y'all knew who he was. Why are you surprised?
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN+.
Back in Lynchburg, no score here as Liberty missed an opportunity on a field goal chance a moment ago. Time now, though, to check in with the third member of our team, Melanie Newman, on really the lead up to this game for both sides. Melanie?
Thanks, guys. Well, school's back in session. That applies to football as well. Running back Frankie Hickson says they have torn apart footage all week long. They've never been more prepared for an opponent than Syracuse because of the availability. Games against people like Clemson, Western Michigan have given them all the tools that they need to read what the Orange are bringing to the field today. Now, on the flip side, head coach Dino Babers for Syracuse has been very open about the fact that what Liberty brings today is kind of unknown for them. They've had a really tough time finding footage on some of the players for Liberty, especially those D2 guys. So kind of riding underneath the curtain right now. Liberty's got to take that to their advantage.
Well, it's been all Liberty advantage here so far tonight. A sack is Ralph Rusens. Gets in the backfield. Biggs Jr. out of Karnikava, Latvia. I like it. You know the first
Ralphie.
You know the first Division I Latvian football player?
Ooh. Give me this one.
Ralph Rusens.
Ralph, yeah, there is a Ralph.
Yeah, give the man some credit. He picks up the sack as good pressure from the interior of that Liberty defensive line. DeVito now looking. It's nearly picked. Oh, my. Amari Jenkins right there like he was running the route, and he had no one in front of him if he had snagged that one.
I love how Liberty's mixing up their looks on defense. You know, Melanie talked about preparation, Matt. There's an old saying that the courage comes from preparation. Excessive preparation is the tonic for courage. And I'll tell you what, Liberty, when you feel prepared, you can play the game courageously.
I think that's an old Latvian saying. The handoff goes up the middle, quickly dropped. This defense, they are hungry here as the freshman Trayshawn Clark with the tackle, and another 3 and out for this Syracuse offense. Well, so far this has been the exact opposite of what we all thought it would be. And obviously it's very early, a long way to go. But this defense for Liberty, everyone's saying, boy, they were brutal the past couple of years. Can they slow down Syracuse? So far, so good. They have looked good, especially up front.
Now, however, Matt, when Liberty gets opportunities, those opportunities have to come in points.
That's right. Hofrichter to punt it away. Stubbs had a nice return. Wiped off the board because of a penalty last time. He'll take it at the 25. Slams on the brakes, still on his feet, finally surrounded and stood up. And that'll be the end of that. As they slam him to the turf, and there comes a penalty flag. Boy, you get all fired up, first game of the season, you know, blood's pumping, and you had him stood up.
Yeah.
You could have just walked away and said they throw him to the turf, and the Flames are going to pick up 15 yards.
This time of the year, emotions will get the best of you. That's when the veteran football players for Syracuse have to come over to the young man and say, hey, well, we made a great job covering the punt.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 18, kicking team, his first of the game. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, it's senior Scoop Bradshaw getting the penalty there. All right, time now for our Foster Fuels keys of the game. Now, Joe, we asked for keys, like one each. You sent us like a whole page. You have more keys than a custodian. We had to narrow you down here, give you one for each side.
I mean, you didn't just narrow me down, you put me down to one, but I'm going to go with keep Buckshot clean. With these defensive ends and the pressure that Syracuse can put on the quarterback, if you can keep Buckshot clean, that gives them a chance. Taking Tristan Schultz and moving him from right tackle back over to left tackle this year, let's see if they can hold up in protection.
Empty backfield. Now they bring Hickson there behind Calvert. Handoff, no, that's Joshua Mack. Now they get it to Gandy Golden. He's got some room, cuts it to the near side. Stiffs arms the defender across the 30, down to the 20. He's still carrying people down to the 4-yard line.
If that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. What a play by Gandy Golden.
Gandy Golden carrying orange defenders down inside the 10. A lot of talk about the Bolitnikoff Award watch list receiver coming into the season, and he shows you why there. Now the handoff to Josh Mack. Powers his way down to about the 4. Let's take another look at that reception by Gandy Golden. And he's not just big and strong, he's got a little elusiveness to him as well.
Yeah, you don't see it there, but when you looked at the route at the beginning, he stuck his foot in the ground, got his shoulders square, and caught a separation from the defender. And then the little pause move, how nice was that?
So the Flames moving the football once again down inside the red zone, unable to put points on the board the first time. You've got to come away with not just points here. If you're Hughes Freeze in this offense, you're thinking, we got to get 6. Joshua Mack still in there, running back, stands to the right of Buckshot. They give it to him. Chase down from behind, ball comes free, and Syracuse covers it up. You fumble inside the 5. And the Flames waste another golden opportunity.
I'm not sure who that was for Syracuse, but what an unbelievable job chasing
I think that was
down.
Trill Williams coming all the way across the field and just hacking that thing out of the hands of Josh Mack.
See, and that right there, Matt, is why they're a veteran football team. A big play happens offensively, and then all of a sudden, you're down, backed up, getting ready to score a touchdown on you, and big players come up with big plays when it matters the most.
Josh Mack taking his first handoffs in a Flames uniform on that drive, a transfer from Maine, and you see it talking to he's getting now from Flames running backs coach Bruce Johnson. When you are an underdog, when you're going up against a top 25 team, you have got to take advantage of looks just like that. They weren't able to do it. Now Hugh Freeze, his blood pressure rising as he's watching this one. Syracuse backed up now. The give to Abdul Adams. He's in there for the first time. He lunges forward for about a yard. Adams, a transfer from Oklahoma.
Really like how Liberty's defensive line is seen being able to hold up front. They're not getting driven back. They're staying square, and they're being able to close on the football really quickly.
Adams remains in the game at running back. They're going to give it to him again. Plants his foot, tries to get upfield, hit it about the 9, keeps pushing, and he'll be stood up there, and it'll bring up another 3rd down.
Another big 3rd down.
That's right. Adams, an interesting kid. We mentioned a transfer from Oklahoma. He's a junior. His sophomore year with the Sooners, he averaged over 9 yards a carry on 59 carries. So he is a weapon, and we're really going to get an extended look at him here today.
That's a lot of yards.
So 3rd down. Vito swings it out. Adams out of the backfield. He's got the edge, and he's got the 1st down and drug down there alongside the far sideline. So the first down now for this Syracuse offense is they swing it out to their running back.
Yeah, that was an assignment breakdown on Liberty's defense right there as Adams swung out of the backfield. The linebacker dipped inside. He should have been in coverage with him.
We may have had a horse collar on the end of that. Yeah, they're going to get a horse collar going against the Flames. That's the call. Amari Jenkins tackling them up high, so that tacks on some yardage now for the Orange. We've seen a little bit of everything so far.
Yeah.
Turnovers, missed opportunities, some untimely penalties. Basically what you expect in a first game of the season.
First game of the season, but you got to clean that. If Liberty wants any chance in this game, once again, Syracuse will be able to work through those things. Liberty's got to convert when they have the opportunities.
Vito sits, has time in the pocket, now rolling to his right. They'll launch it downfield, little bump on the receiver, but that one sailed out wide of the target, and he was out of bounds, so incomplete. Syracuse offense, a prolific one, averaged over 40 points per game last season, 11th in the nation. Fast-paced, to say the least. When they are right, when they are doing what they want to do, they are moving quickly and go with high tempo.
Watch that number 1, Sean Riley. He is a mover and a shaker.
He's in motion right now. Comes, settles into the slot. They get it to him, and he drops it. Tough start to the game for Riley. Remember, he had the fumble on the punt return. Now that one goes right through his hands, and it'll bring up 3rd and long.
I have a feeling, though, Matt Warner, I have a feeling we have not heard the last from Sean Riley.
I would say that's probably a safe bet. 3rd 10, this Williams Stadium crowd comes alive as you take a look at that starting defense for the Flames. They've been up to the challenge so far here tonight. 4 receivers wide. Abdul Adams in the backfield. Here comes some pressure from the Flames. DeVito rolling out, has room to run, and he's got the first down. The Flames brought pressure, Syracuse picked it up, and DeVito had plenty of room to take off.
You know, when you bring pressure, and Syracuse did a great job picking it up right there. However, what you can't do is you can't allow the quarterback to break contain when they bring the pressure.
DeVito, as much as you hear about, oh, he's a pocket passer, that's what he is, he's also a pretty good athlete. We saw some designed runs for him a year ago when he was on the field, and he showed you there. He may not look to run as his first option, but he's a good enough athlete to do it if need be. He's looking to throw this time. Near sideline, his receiver had slipped and fallen down, and that one sails incomplete. Looked like he was targeting Taj Harris there. Mentioned DeVito in his first collegiate start. Did play in 8 games though a season ago, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Really an up and down season for him, as you'd expect with a young guy. They're hoping he can kind of settle in and give them some consistency this year. Under duress, able to roll outside away from it, and he'll step out of bounds, maybe a yard loss on the play, as that was Jesse Lemonnier bearing down on him.
You know what I'm really impressed by right now, Matt, is that defensively, Liberty's ends have allowed the quarterback to break contain, but the secondary has held up well in that by being able to cover the receivers and not getting long balls downfield thrown on them.
3rd and 11 from the Syracuse 49. They were able to pick up 3rd and long a moment ago. 4 wide receivers set, 2 to each side. Now the Orange look to the sideline. Play clock winding down. They get it off in time. Here comes a blitz off the edge. DeVito, he may tuck it and run again. He will. A race for the first down, and it looks like he's going to be a couple yards shy.
Yeah, he's short there, but once again, Liberty allowed them to be able to break, contain, and get to the outside.
And now you give them an opportunity here on this part of the field where they may be thinking about going for it on 4th and 2.
Yeah, this is go-for range right here.
4th and, we'll call it 3. It's a full 3 yards. So DeVito able to make something happen with his legs here on this drive. Reset the play clock. They seem to be having some issues. The officials trying to get everybody on the same page here as this offense. Now you want to go. At Syracuse, you want to go. This is you want to play up tempo. You want to keep the pedal to the floor.
Please reset the game clock to 4 minutes 50 seconds. 4:50 and start it on my signal.
Really want to see how Liberty plays this 4th down. Are they going to bring a lot of pressure up the middle, or are they going to back off and expect a pass and try to undercut something?
Haven't been able to get to him when they have brought pressure. 4 wide receivers. Abdul Adams remaining in. He'll stand to the right side of DeVito. 4th and 3. DeVito looking to his right, lofting one down the field. Good coverage, and it is picked off. Intercepted. Seneca Espinoza got his head around and like a center fielder able to snag it.
That was a great interception, Matt. There's only one problem with it. Turned into a nice punt for Syracuse.
I think the Flames will take it as opposed to the alternative. Good coverage by Seneca downfield. The Flames get the football back. Still scoreless in Lynchburg.
Cats down by 58 with 1 minute left. Hey, this game's not over, so we're not the best. This is our team. No matter what.
tomorrow on ESPN.
Naomi Osaka takes on Coco Gauff tonight on ESPN2.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus. This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
.422 to go in this first quarter. Still no score, and the happiest guy in the stadium right now is that guy right there. Scott Simons, defensive coordinator for Liberty. Last year, inside linebackers coach at Memphis, was the defensive coordinator at West Georgia before that. He's got his guys flying around right now. He's coming from, the D2 ranks as a coordinator to now here. Hugh Freeze, of course, has been on the biggest stage before, and with more on that, we check in once again with Melanie.
Thanks. Well, guys, it's no secret what Hugh Freeze has seen in his career as a coach. Some of the biggest moments you could imagine on the gridiron have been his to own. And having that confidence, that calmness when it comes to facing a big opponent is a trickle-down effect to the rest of his players. Now, after they studied the footage, even Buckshot said, this is another man. It's another team. That's it. It doesn't matter that they're the first power to come here to our house. It doesn't matter that they're an ACC opponent. It's just a team, and we've done our homework to be able to handle this here tonight.
So far, they've gotten Antonio Gandy Golden going here early. And Joe, you know as a former receiver yourself, getting involved early can make all the difference for a wideout.
Yeah, no question whatsoever. But what do you see right there, especially in the last throw? Buckshot has got zip on the ball today. His arm strength even looks stronger than it was last year.
Frankie Hickson goes nowhere with that carry, his first carry of the night. Gandy Golden already 3 catches, 88 yards receiving. So he has gotten involved here in the early stages of this one, and they're going to need him to stay that way as we get deeper into this ball game.
Gandy Golden is their star.
Yeah.
He is Liberty's star. Now he has to show up in a big-time game.
2nd and 10. Hickson remains in the game at running back. Here comes some pressure off the edge. Hickson picks it up. They sling it downfield, and it's picked right into the waiting arms of Afatu Malifonwu. Calvert led Kevin Shaw a little bit too far. Coverage was good, and the Flames turn it right back over.
Yeah, you couldn't have said any better, Matt. He was open. Shaw was open coming in on the dig route, but he just led him a little bit too far.
He had him there, but yeah, just a little bit too far out in front. And for a team that forced so many turnovers a season ago, the Syracuse team is doing it right here already. A couple of them they've forced a fumble, now an interception, and now they're the ones with good field position. And it feels like early on it's not who's going to make the big plays, who's not just going to mess it up.
Right, that's right now. But you look at that play right there. Buckshot had a linebacker coming, breathing right down his throat and his face, and that caused a little bit of an errant throw. So you got to give credit to Syracuse. Great defense.
Each quarterback has thrown a pick here in the early going. The handoff goes to Adams. He's popped down after a short gain. Mari Jenkins there to drop him.
Once again, you see Syracuse trying to be committed to the inside run. Get this O-line involved early.
Another handoff. Adams, a little room. That hole closed quickly. Ralph Strussen's there to wrap him up, send him to the turf, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5.
I'll tell you what, Matt. Defensively, especially on the defensive line, Liberty just looks like a stronger football team, a weight room strength football team.
We saw them a lot last season. There weren't many stretches where they looked like they've looked so far here tonight, that's for sure. They swing it out wide in space, and they get him down. Great job out there by Jovan Scruggs, the sophomore, a local kid out of Appomattox. State champion quarterback 3 times. Able to get just a hold of those ankles and get him to the turf to bring up 4th and short.
You know, in our talking with Coach Freeze during the week, he talked specifically about you'll know a lot early by how we tackle. And Liberty is tackling well right now.
So now you're going to see the All-American. Place kicker, Andre Schmidt, Groza Award winner a year ago, considered by most to be the best kicker in the country. And he's going to have a chance here from 45 out. Hold is down, kick is up. And it's pure. That's like a chip shot for that guy, right down the middle. As Syracuse breaks through on the scoreboard first, able to take advantage of the interception and put points on the board. As Andre Schmidt did what he did all last season, 30 out of 34 times.
Schmidt took that field goal from 45, and he just said, you know, he gave it the psst. This is easy.
Yeah, right.
Easy.
Yeah, made it look easy.
Hey, look at those guys in the orange beards.
Straight up and through, you get a look there at Liberty's new football operations center that's under construction right now, with some of the Syracuse fans in attendance having a good time.
Yeah, see those guys right there, man. Those guys you just want to hang out with those kind of guys. Those are gonna have a good time right there. Got the orange on, supporting their team, made the trip all the way.
And listen, it's not cool out here. It's a hot night, so you have to be committed if you're gonna go wig and beard.
You go wig and beard, you double up like that. That's what they refer to as competitive greatness.
You gotta hydrate though if you do that. It doesn't just happen here. No, it starts really in the first thing in the morning, continues through the tailgate, which I'm sure it did. So Syracuse to kick it away. Shadro Lewis, a freshman, back to return. And that will land deep in the end zone, and the Flames will take the touchback.
All right, let's see now how they're going to respond.
Yeah, not even into the first quarter, but I feel like it's been a roller coaster ride for both of these teams already.
Yeah, no shortage of action.
Yeah, you feel like if one side is more maybe ready to cope with that, it'd be the guys in orange. You know, the veteran group, they've experienced success more so than this Flame squad has.
But Matt,
so they can weather the storm.
You said the word cope. Buckshot has to cope with the interception he just threw, because that was a knock on him last year.
That's right.
There was a lot of interceptions, so how will he cope with that now?
Flames starting at the 25, swinging out of the backfield, caught by Hickson. Has some room, good blocking downfield as he picks up 8 and then lets it roll out of bounds. Flames will have a nice pickup there on first down.
See, I love that call. Okay, Buckshot throws an interception, so what do you do when you come out first play next series? You just throw a nice little swing pass out there. Easy throw, get him back into rhythm.
Hickson had 10 catches a year ago. It'll be interesting to see how much Hugh Freeze uses those running backs in the passing game this year. Hickson pulls it out, throwing downfield now. A lot of contact. And Shaw was out of bounds anyway. He had been forced out of bounds there by Melifonwu, who's having a really nice evening so far. And it'll bring up 3rd and 2 for Liberty.
You watch these Syracuse corners on film from last year. These guys play man-to-man, and they play it confidently, which you have to do as a corner.
That is what you call unevaded to the quarterback. As we had a jump there. That's Alton Robinson, who was about, 3 counts too soon. And that'll move the chains.
Defense unabated to the quarterback, number 94. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Getting a little too eager there, and no doubt Dino Babers saying, man, on 3rd down, you can't have that.
Tell you what, you look at Alton Robinson right there. That is what an NFL football player looks like.
These two ends, Kendall Coleman, Alton Robinson, you expect to be calling their name a lot tonight. Handoff goes up the middle. Hickson picks up a couple. Josh Black there wrapping him up and taking him down.
Great to see Frankie Hickson in the game, getting involved. He's 1,000-yard returning rusher from last year, and they really need him to step up and have a great season this year.
Yeah, Hickson, a surprise a year ago. Started 3rd on the depth chart, ended up with over 1,000 rushing yards. Pressure coming, Calvert avoids it, throws a little sidearm action down the field, caught by Gandy Golden for the first down. Buckshot, not a guy that wants to run, but he's a little bit sneaky athletic in his ability to avoid the rush.
That's right, he stays alive, and that's exactly what he did there.
Buckshot going under center now as they swing it out to DJ Stubbs. He looks to pass it. Now in trouble. Stays on his feet and just throws it away. Oh, mama, that could have got bad in a hurry.
Great job by DJ, just staying alive.
And actually, it's going to be bad in the end anyway. They're going to get him for intentional grounding, I think.
There's no way.
Intentional grounding. Number 5, offense. The player who received the snap is the only player by rule who is allowed to leave the tackle box and intentionally ground the ball. Loss of down at the spot of the foul. Second down.
Well, that's not something you hear often.
I still don't understand that.
He threw it away, no doubt. Let's take a look. So basically he's saying the tackle box rule does not apply to anyone other than the quarterback.
But there's a receiver right there.
There was a receiver on the sideline. But they're going to get him for intentional grounding, and that's a huge loss now.
Big penalty.
As that's going to be about second 22, 23. So that could be a drive killer. Calvert, here comes the pressure, wrapped up, dropped. Syracuse able to get there. Harper in on the play. Curtis Harper, Kingsley Jonathan in there as well, as that pocket just collapsed around him. So now it's going to be third and a couple of miles.
Buckshot fixed up, and this is your draw and screen time.
That's
and
right.
Nothing there, then you punt it and live to play another play.
That'll get us to the end of the first quarter. A lot of action, not many points. After the first quarter of play, Syracuse leading Liberty by the score of 3-0.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Naomi Osaka takes on Coco Gauff tonight on ESPN2.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
Place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
Champions and contenders, built to defy expectations and challenge convention. Get your tickets today to witness the 2019 U.S. Open, built for glory.
The best in baseball. One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
Donald Sterling was the slumlord of sports.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you're associating with black people.
Y'all knew who he was. Why are you surprised?
The situation in Thailand was unprecedented.
We didn't want them to die, and we didn't want to die ourselves.
We
We welcome you back to Lynchburg, Virginia. Right now, Syracuse on top of Liberty 3-0. And guys, we take a look at that first quarter of action. Everybody's talking about just how dominant this Syracuse defensive line is. All of a sudden, Liberty special teams, they create a turnover, they get the fumble, and then the Liberty defense just took that momentum and ran with it. Their D-line's holding up well and creating a lot of pressure.
It's been unbelievable to see what Coach Scott Simons has done in this 4-2-5 defense. And the athletes that Hugh Freeze has brought in, the athletes that are on this field is unbelievable. The speed has been fun to watch so far.
The defense is looking to make a statement in this game. I think they heard you talking about how bad they were last year.
Well, good. They needed to hear something.
Maybe so, because they've really stepped up here in the first half. You know, holding them only to 3 points here has been good in this first quarter. Yeah. Looking to keep that up here in the second quarter.
You might wonder where Matt Kamara is. No, he's not the buffet line like most O-linemen. He's actually getting honored right now as being a part of the 2009 Liberty football team. And now we'll head back to Matt and Joe.
Yeah, they haven't been honored, Brett, so I think he might actually be at the buffet line. I think he just told you that.
No, you leave Brett.
Yeah.
Leave old Matt alone.
You guys were a little light there on the set without Kamara. All right, good thing we had that break. It took them that long to calculate how far the Flames would have to go here on third down. It's 3rd and 28. So, yeah, your typical draw territory, Joe.
Outside screen, draw.
Something safe here.
Something safe, something simple.
They clock down to 2. Going to get it off. Buckshot. Under pressure. Drops. So much for safe and simple. They're getting that Syracuse rush. And that was Kendall Coleman getting in there and dropping him. Coleman with 10 sacks a year ago.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that, man. You get that Coleman coming from behind. You don't have a chance to strip the ball out. That's a little bit of a dangerous play, but Hugh Freeze, Ken Austin, offensive coordinator, they got a lot of riverboat gambler in them.
Sean Riley back to return the punt. Aiden Alvis on to kick it away. Riley calls for the fair catch at the 28, and he'll take it there.
Surprised Riley fair caught that with his speed and quickness. He had a little bit of space there to make something happen.
Remember, he had the fumble on his first punt return. Maybe that's still in the back of his mind a bit as the Syracuse offense gets ready to take the field. Well, you take a look just at the stats, and it trends towards the Flames. They lead in total yards, 96. They've held Syracuse to just 53 total yards in this game. Syracuse running for less than 3 yards a carry on the ground. But really, those numbers don't matter. It's the scoreboard that matters, and so far, the Orange have been the only team able to put points on the board here early on.
It's all about the points. It's like you get all dressed up to go to the prom with your date and everything, and you're all gussied up, and then you get there and you don't even dance. You got to get some points on the board.
Here's the big play they were looking for. DeVito hits his receiver in stride. That's Taj Harris, finally wrapped up and dropped in Flames territory.
Yeah, these Syracuse receivers are explosive. Taj Harris gets downfield quick, is an explosive football player. It's a matter of time before they break one loose.
Now Syracuse hustles up to the line. Toss play coming near side. And a nice pickup on first down from O'Neal.
See, this is what Syracuse wants to do. They get the big play downfield with Taj Harris. Now O'Neal picks up 6-7 yards. This is exactly in their wheelhouse for what they want to do offensively.
2nd and 3 now. O'Neal still in there at running back. DeVito looks to him and throws a little bit behind him. Neal had kind of sat down, waited for a couple of seconds, then decided to try to take it across the middle of the field, and that throw went behind him.
Big third down for Liberty right here. They're in that potential field goal range, yet at the same time, boy, could they ever use a stop.
3rd and 3. 3 wide receivers. And we get a whistle. And we may get a timeout. Yeah, Liberty's going to take a timeout before the snap.
Liberty. Their first of the half.
So maybe sensing, like you said, Joe, big third down here early in this ball game. They're going to talk about it. They take a timeout. We will as well. Number 22 Syracuse on top of Liberty, 3-0.
Let's go.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Naomi Osaka takes on Coco Gauff tonight on ESPN2.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN. The best in baseball. One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
On top of the Flames here, 13:28 to go in the second quarter. We've seen a little bit of good, a little bit of bad from each of these two quarterbacks. With more on the Signal Callers, we head down to Melanie Newman.
Well, if you look at those numbers, Tommy DeVito and Buckshot Calvert had held about even, like you said, between the good and the bad. Now, there's some balance, some give and take with that. Calvert, a senior, he's a leader on this team. And, of course, he's going up against one of the toughest opponents in his collegiate career. DeVito has had a little bit of backing from Babers. Now, he's not expected to carry this team as a leader just yet. Again, he is a redshirt sophomore. This is his first collegiate true start here. And Babers said, you know, he's young, but there's older guys around him, and I know the QB is the traditional leader, but we're going to lean on the guys that are around that line and backing him to lead that offense, and he's going to have to lean on that here.
They gave it to Mo Neal there on 3rd and short, and it looks like he's going to come up about a yard and a half short of that first down. So it's going to bring up 4th and short now for Syracuse, and it looks like they're going to leave the offense on the field.
A little bit surprised by that. With an All-American kicker, they have the opportunity to put points on the board. This is a long 4th down.
They're calling it 4th and a long 2. Vito, hands off, running up the middle, and that'll be enough. As it was Neal once again on the carry, able to pick up about 5. So they stuck with their senior running back. He's able to get it. A guy that, I mean, you want to talk about impressive. He averages 5.4 yards per carry for his career. He's 5th behind guys like Jim Brown, Ernie Davis. Like, these are like not just big names in Syracuse football, in the history of football. So he's in good company. He remains in the game. Little play action. DeVito looking down the field, firing, and he overshoots his intended target. Like he was trying to get Tristan Jackson there, the transfer out of Michigan State.
That was a very confident 4th and 2 call by Syracuse. 4th and 2 to run the ball right up the middle with Mo Neal shows a great amount of confidence in their offensive line, a young offensive line that they've had to put together, and Mo Neal at running back to be able to find a way to get that first down.
Yeah, and you think that offensive line would probably feed off that a little bit. Their coach is entrusting them with getting the job done and getting some push. 2nd down now. DeVito looking to his left, firing into the flat. Breaking a tackle is Riley. Oh, look at the moves for Riley as he's able to pick up a couple extra yards. Yeah. You said shifty. We saw it there on that reception.
Yeah, he's very shifty, but also there on that play showed a great deal of strength. Takes a hard hit right there, is able to stay on his feet, make another man miss, and pick up about 7-8 yards.
There, the first down will be picked up by Syracuse. As that one swung wide to Nykeem Johnson.
You're starting to feel it, Matt. Yeah. You're starting to feel Syracuse is getting a little bit of momentum offensively. They're picking up their tempo.
Little rhythm. Moving the chains in the red zone now. 4 wide receiver set, stacked to each side. Time in the pocket. That one caught and dropped right into the hands of Harris, and he couldn't hang on to it.
This is where we have to see a great improvement from Liberty as compared to last year. Red zone defense. Yes, you can march the ball up and down the field, but in the red zone when it really counts, can you make the stops?
Second 10. Again, 4 wide receivers out there for Syracuse. DeVito rolling, maybe a broken play. Now he's just going to throw it away. Looked like he was wanting Neal to kind of come underneath for like maybe a little shovel pass there, and there was a little bit of miscommunication between he and his running back.
Yeah, I think he saw that there was nothing there, and Mo Neal was going to take one right in the mouth, so he decided to scramble out of the pocket and just throw it away, and like you say, just live to the next play.
So 3rd and 10 now from the 18.
Looks like Liberty's going to bring some pressure, or they may be backing out.
Solomon Ajayi coming from his linebacker position. They're setting up the screen. Oh, beautiful play design. Room to run. Mo Neal down inside the 5. Could not have dialed up a better play given what the Flames did.
But the beauty of that play was how DeVito was able to get, he had so much pressure on him. Usually want to stand in there at that screen. He had to drop back 20 yards almost. Being able to deliver the ball and being able to do that was an extremely good athletic play. Watch his pressure. He's got to get deep to get back there to deliver the ball. Great job by him.
So once again, they come through on 3rd down, and now they have 1st and goal from the 5. DeVito looking to throw the fade to the corner. And he threw it behind his receiver, Taj Harris. It was there. If that ball's out in front of him, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, just a little bit off, but yet at the same time, Matt, I am really impressed at how well Liberty's corners are holding up right now. They've done an outstanding job so far in this first half.
It's another look. Look at the distance there for Taj Harris. So 2nd and goal now. Handoff right up the middle, power and turning those legs is Abdul Adams. He's cut down at the 3. So I'll bring up 3rd down.
Biggest play of the game right here for Liberty's defense. Can they get a stop in the red zone on 3rd down? Knocking at the doorstep of a touchdown.
Adams remains in the backfield. DeVito goes under center. Give to their running back, and he powers his way in. Abdul Adams just lowers the shoulder and drives in for the touchdown. And that was an impressive, methodical drive from the Syracuse Orange.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. Adams with a power run. Get your shoulder pads down low, explode through the tackler, and find a good way to get your nose into the end zone. That is an outstanding goal line run right there.
Andre Schmidt comes on. That capped a 14-play drive. EAT up and through, and Syracuse goes in front 10-0. Well, we talked about some missed opportunities early on for the Liberty offense.
Yep.
And you're right in the praise you've been giving the Flames defense. They've battled, they've hung in there. But you can't expect them to keep this thing, you can't expect them to keep them off the board. This is a potent, high-powered offense for Syracuse. Now it shifts back to that Liberty offense to pick up their fellows on the other side of the ball. Yeah. We'll see if they can do that here on the other side. We step aside. Syracuse in front of the Flames, 10-0 midway through the second.
Ready to upgrade your appliances? Today is the day for doing, because the Home Depot makes it easy to save now, compare options, and fuel your team for less. Shop hundreds of special buys like these GE laundry pairs, just $5.98 each. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Gatorade packs carbs to refuel and electrolytes to replenish, so you can bring the heat. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
Well, the Flames may not have had success getting into the end zone so far tonight, but this guy did. Flames fan proposing on the field. I assume he got a yes. Seemed to be a little subdued there. Good luck to the happy couple.
He got a yes. Look,
Good luck to them.
She's all teared up.
You better be pretty confident if you pull the old public on-field proposal there.
Share that moment with 22,000 of your closest
friends. That's right. 10-0. Syracuse on top of the Flames as the Orange set to kick it away. This one looks like it'll be returnable. Shadro Lewis comes up and takes it. Has some room and quickly disappears on him as he's hit and knocked out at the 22. Well, that Syracuse offense put together quite the drive. Check in once again with Melanie Newman. What's the attitude, the mood like down on that Orange sideline right now?
Well, it's about a complete opposite of the Jokers, who are just a couple feet behind them, guys. It's very quiet. Even after that touchdown, there was nothing that was over the top about their celebration. And you want to think that part of that goes back to the fact that Dino Babers said how much he respects Hugh Freeze and what he's been able to do as a coach. They're not treating this like a small game at all. They know that the task is at hand here, and a lot of discipline down here on the sidelines. Guys are either quietly sitting on the bench or standing with a bated breath on the sidelines.
Yeah, what did Dino Babers say? I asked him, what most concerns you about this Liberty offense? He said, the mind of Hugh Freeze. That's what concerns me. Hugh Freeze right now coaching from a hospital bed just down the hall from us as Buckshot Calvert swings it out. Catch made by DJ Stubbs. Oh, makes a man miss. Able to pick up about 5 or 6 on first down.
Yeah, you look at what Melanie said right there, the business-like attitude. That seems to be the battle cry of their football team, is that they're good in all 3 phases of the game. They take a very business-like approach.
Well, they want last year to not be the high point. They want that to be the norm, the expectation. Handoff goes to Hickson. He's going to be close to a Liberty first down.
See, Matt, I think this is exactly what Liberty needs to do. They got the ball on the outside, working on their horizontal game to DJ Stubbs. He breaks a tackle, picks up 8, come right back, run the ball up the middle with Frankie Hickson. You got to get some momentum with those types of plays.
Hickson's helmet popped off, so he will check out. Peyton Pickett comes in now, as that was enough for a Flames first down. The officials getting together and having a conversation right now as they're holding up play.
Please reset the game clock to 9:54. 9 minutes, 54 seconds.
Listen, it's the first game. It's not just a little sloppy on the field. You got a few clock issues too. We'll work it all out. It's early in the year.
But yeah, at the same time, they're trying to play fast. You get a first down, you're trying to play fast. You shouldn't have to deal with clock issues.
3 wide receivers set. Syracuse showing pressure off the edge. They give it to Pickett. Lunges, a little second effort, gives him 2.
This is an important drive for Liberty. They don't have a goose egg on the board right now, just to be able to figure out a way to get the ball down the field and even kick a field goal. Those first points are the most important points. Have to find a way to make something happen.
Calvert in the shotgun, brings Stubbs in motion behind him. Now they look to the sideline for the play. Plenty of time on the play clock. Calvert so far 7 of 13, 113 yards through the air. He does have the 1 interception. Buckshot stands in the pocket, now swings it out to Pickett. He is quickly hit, wrapped up, and dropped. Good tackle in space made there by Antoine Cordy.
Would have liked to see Buckshot just to hold that ball for a split more second. The Coleman had come open on a curl route, and he just missed it, gave it up a little bit too early.
So we'll bring up 3rd down now. It's going to be 3rd and 10. Flames 0 of 3 on third down so far today. Here comes that pressure. Look out. Calvert gets away somehow. Now tucks it and just dives back towards the line of scrimmage. He'll end up losing a yard or two, and fortunately he didn't lose his head on that one, as there were some guys getting free.
Yeah, he talked about in the keys to the game being able to keep Buckshot clean. You'll see as the game wears on and tackles and offensive linemen start getting a little bit tired, and those all-American defense ends start cranking up their motors a little bit higher and higher. It could get ugly.
Well, Dino Baber said a key for them is getting a lead and putting you in a position where you feel like you have to throw the ball. Because then those ends can just pin their ears back. Aiden Alvis to punt it away. Sean Riley back again. Good punt this time. Angles towards the sideline. And now we'll see where they spot it. Looks like it's going to be down around the 20 or so. That's where Syracuse will take it. 10-0 lead over Liberty. They'll look to build on that. We return. You're watching college football on ESPN+.
Ready to upgrade your appliances? Today is the day for doing, because the Home Depot makes it easy to save now, compare options, and fuel your team for less. Shop hundreds of special buys like these GE laundry pairs, just $5.98 each. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing.
It can seem unreachable at first. The bar too high, shoes too big. You'll take leaps of faith and fall on your face, but you'll get up. Hard work is 50 sprints before breakfast and another 50 for breakfast. You'll eat it, breathe it, sleep it. The Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody, so don't be just anybody. Be blimp-worthy. Goodyear, more driven.
Let's go!
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN+.
Nothing. Syracuse on top of the Flames. Season opener for both these squads, and what a job Dino Babers has done with this Syracuse program. Joe, you and I have talked about it a lot. Back-to-back 4-win seasons his first 2 years, 10 wins last year, and you get the sense it's not like it's ending there. This is a well-rounded program that is building towards becoming a contender of the ACC year in and year out.
Yeah, no question. When you look at Dino Babers and the program that he's building, you can see how well he does in a mom and dad's living room. That this guy is building a program around young men that are going to compete, and he's going to be able to recruit really well.
And off up the middle. Nice pickup on first down for Syracuse, as that was Abdul Adams. Nope, check that. That was Jarvion Howard on the carry, his first touch of the ball game.
Don't be surprised right here, Matt. You get a heavy dose of run up the middle with Syracuse. They're starting to field a little bit.
Well, this Liberty defense has been on the field a lot here lately. Another handoff. First down, they move the chains. As that was Howard once again, the sophomore out of Mississippi. Last year had 315 yards on the ground. Used a lot as a short yardage back, so a powerful runner. And he remains in the ball game right now for the Orange. Vito, quick pass towards the sideline. That one caught, quickly wrapped up and dropped. Tristan Jackson on the reception, and they have a nice pickup on first down. Jackson, a transfer from Michigan State. Kid out of Michigan, going to his dream school. Just didn't seem to work out there for him, but Syracuse really excited about the upside of this receiver.
They're loaded up at the receiver position.
Pitch out to Howard. Full head of steam. Boy, that turned around in a hurry. Coming down to lay the wood to him there was Elijah Benton, the senior from LCA, the high school right next door here in Lynchburg. He delivered a big blow to keep him short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Really think Scott Simons needs to stop here, load up on defense, come after him, make a play, make something happen. You need something.
Pull it out, throw it downfield, and it's knocked loose. Good coverage by the Flames, a big hit in coverage as Tristan Jackson tried to come down with it. Jimmy Fox was there on the coverage.
You know what, Matt, what the best part of that play was on that slant route, it had targeting written all over it. However, Fox able to come down and get his shoulders down below, stay away from the head, and now they get a 4th down, got to punt the ball away.
Yeah, good job by the free safety, Javon Scruggs, there as well, to kind of go low, like you said, stay away from that head and neck area. So a punting situation now for Syracuse. Hoffrichter on to kick it away. DJ Stubbs deep to return, and we're going to get a whistle, I think a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
The All-American
The team was lined up in a scrimmage kick formation, therefore the clock will start on the snap.
A little more space.
A little more space.
Yes.
42.9 yards per punt a year ago. Senior Sterling Hoffrichter.
I love that name, Hoffrichter. You got to throw a little.
Yeah, is that right? I don't have that. I don't have that skill.
I mean, he's got that German Hoffrichter.
Yeah.
Hoffrichter and Schmidt.
I'll leave that.
Sound like two, great soccer players.
Yeah.
Hoffrichter to Schmidt. Schmidt to Hoffrichter. Goal!
Gets the punt away. Flames are trying to bring pressure. Stubbs will take it, drop it, kick it. It's rolling loose. Who comes up with it? If he got on that football and he did, that's amazing.
That was amazing.
He was surrounded by Syracuse players. I have no idea how he was able to stay on that ball. Just sheer fear of heading back to the sideline, having given this one back, is the only reason he was able to get back on top of it.
You couldn't have said that any better, man.
So the Flames fortunate to get the ball here after Stubbs boots it. And he's smiling now, but boy, he wasn't a couple of moments ago. Oh, goodness. A couple of adventures on each side, really, in the punt return game so far tonight. So the Flames have it. Not great field position, starting inside their own 15. Haven't heard from Antonio Gandy Golden in a bit. See if they can get him back involved. Hand off up the middle. Not much doing on 1st down for Liberty. Frankie Hickson gets maybe 2.
You know, Liberty's trying to show some patience right now, running the ball at the middle, but the bottom lines, there's a goose egg on the board right now, and you've got a senior quarterback and a senior star receiver that this is when they need to make the big plays for their team.
2nd and 8. Calvert pulls it out, looking downfield, climbs in the pocket, throwing down, looking for his receiver, and we're going to get a flag. They're going to get pass interference called. Looks like they're going to get Trill Williams as he was trying to cover Demario Douglas, the freshman wide receiver.
Pass interference, number 6, defense. 15-yard penalty and an automatic. 1st down.
So the Flames get bailed out there with the penalty.
Do get bailed out with the penalty, but what I did like about that play is they gave Buckshot some time to be able to use his footwork and step up in the pocket and wait on a throw. That's a good sign for Liberty's offensive line. Just have to be more consistent. They're a little bit inconsistent right now.
So 1st down now at the 31. Albert pulls it out, fires a slant. There's Gandy Golden ducking underneath the defender, and he has another Liberty 1st down. So the big fella, redshirt senior, getting involved once again. He now has 5 catches on the ball game, over 100 yards receiving. Albert under pressure, tried to drop it off to the running back Hickson, threw it at his feet, and that may have been the best result they could have hoped for on that play. Go back and look at that reception from Gandy Golden, 115 yards to number 11 thus far.
You know, once again, Matt, you look at AGG. We thought he was strong last year. He even looks stronger this year. His ability to shed off tacklers and get rid of them, that's going to give him the opportunity to make a big play downfield.
He's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, only the second Liberty receiver to ever do that. Off to a great start here tonight, but he needs a little help from the fellas around him. 2nd and 10. Give up the middle. Hickson, again, goes into a pile and gets one, maybe two. Liberty hasn't been able to get anything going on the ground game. In fact, they're at negative yardage right now.
Yeah, and not being able to get anything going on the ground game has a lot to do with Syracuse's defense. You can see right there on that previous play, they're loading up and they're playing man-to-man. And I say, if you're going to play AGG man-to-man, I'm going to keep going at you until you can prove that you can stop him.
By the way, Kenneth Ruff, who was injured earlier in the game, he's back in there at D tackle. 3rd and long, pressure comes, buckshot, hit, wrapped up, dropped. So the first wave didn't get to him, the second wave did. Calvert goes down, another sack. That is the 5th of the night for the Orange. Buckshot just did not have time to deliver the football.
Yeah, you can see the pocket collapse right here. They're just big and strong, and the way they move the pocket, collapse the pocket, and able to get around Buckshot. As you can see, they protect the edges. They protect the edges and make him collapse inside, so then it all comes on top of you.
Antoine Cordy credited with that sack. So the Flames are going to have to punt it away again, and it's been a frustrating night offensively for Liberty. A low kick that's going to hit. Take a Liberty roll inside the 20. Now inside the 15, and it'll settle in at about the 14-yard line. So a nice job by Aiden Alvis, pinning Syracuse inside their own 20. Well, there's another look at Hugh Freeze taking in this ball game from the booth down the hall from us. And you know, as an offensive guy, a guy that has dialed up high-scoring offenses everywhere he's been, he's got to be frustrated with what he's seen so far tonight.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's also been some really good plays that happen. Yeah. You move the ball, AGG makes a nice run and catch. You move the ball down in the red zone, and then Syracuse strips the ball from behind, causes a fumble on the 3-yard line. If you find a way to get into the end zone on some of those red zone trips, this is a 10-7, you know, even ball game. So it's not that Liberty's not hanging with them. They're there.
Well, this possession is big. Heading into the half, you're asking this Liberty defense that's been on the field a lot here lately to stand up again and see if at worst you go to the half trailing by 10. DeVito trying to set up a screen. Good patience, finds O'Neal. He's got a lot of room to run. Neal cutting it back, spun down now at the 45. So a big pickup on 1st down as they have had success with the screen game.
No question. You start bringing that pressure up the middle. You want to blitz us? Okay, you can blitz us. We're just going to create a little bit of space, be patient, drop it off on the screen, run everybody off, and you have big gainers like that.
29-yard pickup. They tossed to Neal. The turf monster got him there as he tried to plant his foot and get upfield. No gain on 1st down.
No gain on the play.
Neal has been a weapon more so in the receiving game than anything. 2 receptions, 43 yards for the senior running back. He remains in now, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the screen they ran on 3rd down in the red zone when they had pressure up the middle was a game-changing play for Syracuse.
Flames show 3 down linemen. They rush 3. Vito, plenty of time, thrown towards the sideline, and he and Tristan Jackson just not on the same page. Jackson broke it in. DeVito expected him to take it out.
I know you're starting. It's only in the 1st half right now, Matt. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you know, boy, this is the biggest 3rd down of the game.
You're right.
It's like early on.
In some ways, though, it very well could be.
In some ways, it is. Yeah, no question.
For the Flames, you've got to stay within arm's reach of Syracuse here. They get another score before the half, and it's going to be tough sledding. 3rd and long. Here comes the pressure. They set up the screen once again, and once again it works to perfection. Boy, they have seen something either on film or what have you with Scott Simon's defense, and they're taking advantage of it in the screen game.
Yeah, the defense ends have to be able to read the screen game. The linebackers have to be able to read the screen game. When offensive linemen start letting you come through, something's up. Something's going on. So you got to be able to read those screens. They're going to keep running it until you stop it.
Success continues on 3rd down for Syracuse. DeVito under some pressure now. Rolls out, sends it downfield, and just throws it away. 6 of 12 is Syracuse on converting third downs here tonight, and you think about how important those were on their touchdown drive, 14-play drive, converted a bunch of big third downs, and they're doing it here on this drive as well.
Yeah, and it's not just the conversion of third downs, Matt, it's the conversion of a long third down. They're converting 3rd and 10s.
Handoff, Adams takes it, and he's going to pick up about 9. So Dual Adams with the carry there. As we go under a minute and a half to go here in the first half of play.
Timeout, Liberty.
And Liberty's going to call a timeout, just try to see if they can get their defense.
This will be a 30-second
a quick breather as they face yet another third down. This one much shorter than the last one.
Yeah, that's a good timeout for Liberty to take.
So 10-0, Syracuse on top, minute and a half to go. Now keep in mind, you get down to this portion of the field, you got the best kicker in America in your back pocket as well.
That's right.
So that's certainly an option, as Andre Schmidt can go out there and knock one through here headed to the break. But this Liberty defense has been on the field a lot, as we talked about. They've stood up maybe better than many expected here in the first half, but it's starting to get to that stage where you wonder, not a ton of depth on the defensive side of the ball, or is that going to start showing up?
It has that feel to it a little bit, but you know, you go back in this game and Liberty had the, I believe it was a 2nd and 10, and they got called for that intentional grounding penalty on the backwards pass, and then DJ Stubbs threw it downfield where there was clearly a receiver in the area. So that really hurt them on a drive they were making.
3rd and 2, the handoff up the middle, first down for Adams. He spins his way for a little extra. As he gets inside the Liberty 30, clock continues to run once they set the chains. Syracuse with all of their timeouts, plenty of time.
Yeah, you can almost sense it, Matt. You can sense the tread on the tires is running a little bit thin right before halftime for Liberty defense.
Vito hands it off. Adams wrapped up for a short pickup there. And I think we're going to see a Syracuse timeout here after that run. Yep, they're taking their first time out of the ball game. 57 seconds to go here in the first half. So you're kind of, too, as well, finding out how much confidence that Dino Babers has in his young quarterback in this situation.
Yeah.
Because is he going to let him loose and say, let's just put the pedal down and try to put 6 on the board here?
Right.
Or is he going to say, you know what, let's play it conservative. We've got a great kicker. If we get 3, I'm happy we go in 13-0. We'll see here on these next couple of play calls.
You know what I'd do on 2nd down right now?
They'll play action?
Throw a screen.
Yeah, it's worked every other time.
I'm throwing a screen. I'm going to let them come out and throw another screen. So you can stop the screen and have what? They still have
O'Neal in the pass game. That's been the key to success tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you, though, Matt. I think you're going to see them definitely, they're going for 6 points right here. They're going to try to find a way to take a shot downfield and make a play to get 6 points on the board before halftime. That's a touchdown right here and go up 17-0 before half is a dagger to Liberty.
Both running backs in right now, Neal and Adams, standing to either side of DeVito. 2nd and 7 from the Liberty 25. DeVito looking to pass, fires middle of the field, caught by Riley, and he falls down at the 14. Second catch of the ball game by Sean Riley. Syracuse, no rush. Walk up to the line, set and ready to go. DeVito again going to throw it. Near side this time. Behind the receiver and nearly intercepted.
See right
Jimmy
there.
Falks right there. And again, miscommunication with his receiver. I think that was Tristan Jackson again. They have not been on the same page so far here in the first half.
But from Liberty defensively, that's a play, an interception, a game-changing play as they're in the red zone to be able to create a turnover. Have to find a way to catch that football.
So DeVito dodges a bullet. 2nd and 10 now. And passing it, pressure comes, able to avoid it. Chased down by Lemonnier, now rolling to the far sideline. Sidearm pass is picked off. Picked off in the end zone by Liberty. Bajor Wilson with the big play for this Flames defense. and you see a young guy there trying to do a little too much.
That's exactly right. That was a situation where he had to scramble outside the pocket. That's a throw it over there to the Liberty cheerleaders, let them make a catch, and then play another play. But instead, Bajor Wilson steps in front of that, makes a great play. Did he get his feet down, Matt?
Oh, it's there. It sure looked like it.
See if he got his feet down, if they're going to review this.
Bajor undercutting the route. Yeah, that's good. That's good on Sundays.
That's an NFL.
Also, I think Vincent Elefante got a little piece of that ball too. It looked like he may have deflected that throw, and it looked a little wobbly as it made its way to Bajor. So a big interception by one of the leaders of this defense, the senior Bajor Wilson. And Liberty now with 27 seconds. You say, you know what, we'll take a knee, we'll go to the half,
no
and
question.
We'll see you here in a few minutes, and we'll try again.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the locker room will be like for Liberty. Like defensively, there's, hey guys, we're holding up our end of the bargain. Offensively, these guys need to start putting some points on the board.
We are going to talk to Hugh Freeze at the half, so we will have that interview for you, get his take on what he saw here in the first half of play, as his Flames have been shut out but are still within shouting distance, trailing just 10-0, thanks in large part to 3 Syracuse turnovers. This defense playing well for Liberty, but they need to see if the offense can get going in the second half.
That was an exciting 10-0 halftime.
Tell you what.
There are a lot of plays.
A lot of stuff happening. A lot of miscues, but a lot of excitement, no doubt about it. 10-0 Syracuse on top. Stick with us. A lot coming up at the half with Brett and the crew. You're watching college football on ESPN+.
Okay, I have to say something. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day, not just on airline purchases. Just think about the miles you can earn on things like gifts.
Should I continue?
No, I want to hear this. Or a rental tux with a handsome cummerbund. Double miles on all of it.
Holy matrimony! That's a lot of miles. Anyone else speak now?
One more thing. What's in your wallet?
This is a Surface Laptop 2, and this is Mackenzie Book.
Hi, I'm MacBook.
Which one has a better touchscreen?
The Surface has better touchscreen, because it actually has a touchscreen.
Oh, right. There you have it. MacBook says, get a Surface.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN+. This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN+.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
Donald Sterling was the slumlord of sports.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot because you're associating with black people.
Y'all knew who he was. Why are you surprised?
There's no such thing as a born winner. So start driving and don't stop, because no one takes off at the finish line. And the only way to get that trophy is to take it. Net Generation, official youth tennis of the USTA.
This is one of the most dangerous dogs I've ever worked with.
Muzzles off. Everybody out.
It's going to be gnarly. You don't need force. You just need to change the way that you relate with your dog.
Dog Impossible. New series Sunday, September 8th at 10 on Nat Geo Wild.
Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia. 10-0 in favor of the Syracuse Orange at this point. Just moments ago, our very own Melanie Newman had the chance to catch up with Flames offensive coordinator Maurice Harris.
You knew that you would have to have a reversed role for this situation. Freeze is upstairs. You're usually there. You're having to be his eyes. You've got that eye contact with these players, which is what he wanted. How have you been adjusting to this change?
I tell you what, it's been a smooth adjustment. We just have to take care of the football. We got 2 turnovers right now. That's really hurting us. We missed a scoring opportunity in the red zone. Those things are hurting us. If we take care of our business, I feel really good about the second half.
On the flip side of those turnovers, you've also forced 3. So where do you start to gain that momentum and take advantage, like you said, not letting those slip away?
Yeah, hopefully here in this second half.
All right, Coach, best of luck.
All right, thank you so much.
I think if you are being a Flames fan, if you are one, the fact that it's only 10-0 at this point, and, this is a Syracuse offense that is quite dynamic. You got to be pretty happy with where you're at as it stands right now.
My first thought is yes, absolutely. But you're playing on the big stage, and we have now committed. Hey, this is a team that wants to be big time. When you get the opportunity to score from the 3-yard line, Gandy Golden makes it a beautiful 58-yard catch and run and dragging 17 people. You've got to punch it in. You have to score when you're on the 3-yard line. Not a good look.
Yeah, if we kind of take a look here at the first half highlights as things have gone on, it was pretty even to start things off with, and then it seemed like, obviously the defensive line for Syracuse started to get a little bit more of a push, which stressed Buckshot a little bit more, and there were some turnovers, and that's really the story of the ball game right now.
Yeah, it's the first game of the season for both teams. They're both playing okay football. It's not great football. Right. It's sloppy on both sides. Lots of turnovers. 3 for Syracuse, 2 for Liberty. The play up front is what is determining this. There's not a lot of give and take. You saw Syracuse adjust by the pressure of Liberty. They went to a screen game, and Liberty is just having a hard time of finding an in when it comes to running, finding lanes. So not the prettiest of football. Both teams are playing as hard as they can right now. Not the prettiest. I'm sure both coaches are going to get them straightened in the locker room and come out in the second half and hopefully put it together and eliminate some of those mistakes.
Yeah, defensive coordinator for the Flames, Simons, obviously you're getting pressure to start things off with and you're feeling good about yourself, but then the screen game starts to happen and they're getting chunks of yardage each time they throw a screen pass. What do the defensive ends, what do the middle linebackers, the linebackers have to do to kind of stop that?
Well, they're getting big eyes when they see that quarterback. They're finally getting some pressure on them. They think they're going to get to them, then boom, they just dump it off. They have to just have some awareness now. See those tackles. Once they start feeling them letting up there, they have to realize, all right, something's happening. They're trying to dupe me here. And peel off and go make a play.
Well, make sure you stay with us. Lots more still to come. We'll begin to break things down a little bit more in detail. Once again, Syracuse on top, 10-0.
It can seem unreachable at first. The bar too high, shoes too big. You'll take leaps of faith and fall on your face, but you'll get up. Hard work is 50 sprints before breakfast and another 50 for breakfast. You'll eat it, breathe it, sleep it. The Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody, so don't be just anybody. Be blimp-worthy. Goodyear, more driven.
On an all-new season of Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Welcome to Fansville's 150th anniversary tailgate!
Go State!
Go State!
He said State! Somebody get him a Dr. Pepper.
Stat!
We got fans coming in from Van Arbor, East Fencing, Kansas City, Kansas.
There's a new grill master in town.
Go State!
Mom, Dad. Lacrosse?
It's the fastest growing sport in America.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
It's gonna be a big year.
Xfinity X5 gives you the speed of a wide receiver, the control of a quarterback, the coverage of a running back. From kickoff to overtime, this is beyond Wi-Fi, this is X5.
We take thousands of pictures with automatic cameras looking for small leopards. With Microsoft AI, we can analyze these images in 10 minutes instead of 10 days, so we have more time to find and protect them.
What do you serve up when that no-name charcoal burns out early? Chicken tartare? Choose the charcoal worth your flame. Fastest lighting, longest burning, for the way barbecue should taste. Kingsford.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN+. This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN+.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
We might go to Syracuse Sax. Hey, welcome back into the studio. Right now, Syracuse on top by a score of 10-0. And guys, this game could have had an extremely different look. Liberty right there in the red zone on the 10-yard line, and then Josh Mack fumbles, and you could kind of feel the air just be like, oh, boy, we were so close. How big of an impact is that one single play putting on this game right now?
Well, the three of us were standing on the sideline when AGG caught the ball just before the fumble, and the environment was electric in this place. A touchdown, the top blows off the entire place. It really turned things around because the momentum completely shifted.
You know, as a running back, down in that area, that's where you got to earn.
That's where you make your money, right?
That's where you make your money. You got to punch it in down there when you have that opportunity. So, you know, to give up a fumble right in a game like this where you have to protect the football, if you're going to even have a chance at winning, it was devastating for the Flames there.
Let's go to the Syracuse offensive attack right now. And first quarter, Matt, things were kind of ugly. You know, it was a rusty game, and all of a sudden you could see them start to get in sync a little bit more.
Well, again, like I mentioned before, it's the first football game of the season for both teams. You got to find a rhythm offensively. And Dino Babers has told many reporters and in the media, he goes, our offensive line has shifted around. We're only as good as our slowest offensive lineman, and he likes a tempo offense. So a slow offensive lineman ruins that tempo. They also had to adjust to a lot of the pressure that they were getting off the edges from Jesse Lemonnier, and Ralph Ruzins is playing a great game as well. So they adjusted in playing a screen game, letting the guys come on a free rush, and then dipping Duncan to a screen for big yards.
Right now, it seems like the entirety of the LU offense right now is the connection between Buckshot and AGG. And we were getting on AGG earlier saying he has to show up in this game, and he has, but unfortunately, he's the only guy that's shown up.
AGG needs some help from other players. I mean, we've got Hickson. There are playmakers that are on this offense, and he can't do everything by himself. And so far, he has, and we have no points to show for it at this point.
Yeah, the LU running game right now stands at a negative 12 yards. You have to think that is priority number one when it comes to the offensive production for the Flames and what they want to get on track here in the second half.
Yeah, you can guarantee in that locker room, they're talking to those guys up front saying, you better open holes. You better get these guys some running lanes. They're going to make the cuts. I guarantee you, Josh Mack won't fumble the rest of the game. He's going to protect the ball if he gets another touch. Frankie Hickson's looking for that spot. And you're right, Pat. You got to get AGG has got to have some help. Buckshot cannot keep looking for him and only him.
Peyton Pickett was the red zone guy last year. Honestly, I thought when they got into the red zone, it was going to be Pickett's ball.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a competition right now, all of these guys. Interested to see what they'll go with in the second half.
Hey, we'll be back in just a sec. Once again, Syracuse on top of this one by a score of 10-0. When we return, we'll take a look at some stats and the out-of-town scoreboard.
Hey, my name is George, and I love the Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets. It's like me grilling at home. It tastes very similar to that, except the seasoning. I probably can't season it as well as Chick-fil-A does. The chicken's super tender, and honestly, the best nuggets I've ever tasted.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN+.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN+.
Donald Sterling was the slumlord of sports.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you're associating with black people.
Y'all knew who he was. Why are you surprised?
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 242. Interim champ Dustin the Diamond Poirier is out to cement his UFC legacy against superstar Khabib Nurmagomedov. Fight on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
The best in baseball. One night a week. One place to watch. Mets, Phillies. Sunday Night Baseball. Tomorrow on ESPN.
Welcome back to Lynchburg, Virginia once again. Flames trailing by 10. Matt Warner had the chance to catch up with head coach Hugh Freeze just moments ago.
All right. Well, Coach, let's start with maybe the frustrating side of things. You had some good opportunities offensively early, couldn't put it in, and then things kind of slowed down. What adjustments do you need to see?
Yeah, well, you know, we should have had 10 points and should be right in the football game. Our defense has played really, really well other than playing the screens. And so we got to get that cleaned up there, but they've played, you know, to hold this team to 10 at half. Offensively, we got to give them a chance. And, you know, they pretty much have solely sold out and said we're going to play you man and pressure you and load the box. And so we got to have some, we got to win on the outside some, and Buckshot's got to hang in there and make some throws. We had two guys wide open on some third down deals, and he's a little jittery. He's not hanging in the pocket, and we got to get that fixed and then get some more of our man beaters in.
You holding up okay during this whole experience?
Yeah. I don't feel it right now. I might after we get through, but you know, we can check it off the box. This is something I wish I was down there with them right now, but man, proud of our kids and the way they're fighting against the top 20 team. We just, you know, man, we've got to take care of the football and get those points when we have the chance to, and now we got to get some drives and convert some third downs.
Appreciate the time, Coach.
Thank you.
Flames hanging in there, and good to see Coach Freeze hanging in there as well. Time to take a look now at our stats for this game so far. And Pat, you kind of come up with one big thing right off the bat here when it comes to passing yards.
Yeah, the thing is that Gandy Golden had a 55-yard catch that contributed to the 122 passing yards. So there's got to be more production than that one play.
You know, for me, the run game has got to pick up here in the second half. We have negative 12 yards rushing here as a team, as you see there. You know, Liberty's got to do a better job of handling that front seven of Syracuse.
We turn our attention now to the out-of-town scoreboard and some teams Liberty going up against here in the not-too-distant future on the board there. Obviously, BYU losing, Matt.
Yeah, BYU, that game is going to be an interesting game against them when Liberty goes out there. Looking forward to them when they go out to Provo and prove something against another good independent team.
Well, we come back second half and just...
You gonna make me turn back, way back to the oldest me. Guarantee that you notice me. You don't walk on my soul from sleep. You gonna make me turn back, way back to the oldest me. Guarantee that you notice me.
There's no blood test for adversity. It's the hardships we face that truly give us courage to do the right thing, even when it's the hard thing. It's what we do every day.
This is a Surface Laptop 2, and this is a real person named Mackenzie Book.
Hi, I'm MacBook.
So Mac, which laptop lasts longer?
Surface laptop lasts longer.
Interesting. And which one's faster?
This one's faster.
Really? Amazing. Which one has a better touchscreen?
Surface has better touchscreen because it actually has a touchscreen.
Oh, right. Macs don't have touchscreens.
You should get a Surface. Trust me, I'm MacBook.
Well, there you have it. MacBook says get a Surface.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball. Tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus. This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is one of the most dangerous dogs I've ever worked with.
Muzzles off. Everybody out.
It's going to be gnarly. You don't need force. You just need to change the way that you relate with your dog.
Dog Impossible. New series Sunday, September 8th at 10 on Nat Geo Wild.
Built by champions and contenders. Built to defy expectations and challenge convention. Get your tickets today to witness the 2019 U.S. Open. Built for glory.
About to start the second half here in Lynchburg, Virginia. Syracuse on top of Liberty 10-0. Flames will get the ball first here in the second half as they try to find their footing offensively. Tough sledding in the first half, just 110 total yards.
Yeah, no question. Liberty's not down far enough where they give up on the running game. They got to establish some type of running game, but they need to find their first points in 2019.
Flames to return the kick. We will catch up with Dino Babers here in just a moment, Syracuse head coach. First the Orange to boot it away to start the second half of play. Shadro Lewis underneath it. Backpedal a bit. He's going to bring it out. The freshman returns it, takes it up to the 15 or so where he's hit and dropped. And that's where the Flames will begin. A moment ago, our Melanie Newman caught up with Dino Babers.
Coach, you said that this would kind of be a test for your guys, and the difference is you're the professor and you can give answers during the test on a team that you haven't gotten to see much coverage on. What were you seeing now that that first half is under your belt?
What I'm seeing is they're doing some things that are a little bit different. We got to make some adjustments. We haven't seen that stuff, but we also got to settle down. We're making too many mistakes and we're killing ourselves.
They're forcing turnovers for you guys right now, but haven't been able to capitalize on it. What does that speak to the strength of your defense?
What we need to do is just be patient. We be patient. If we'll be patient, everything will be okay.
Well, you got to be patient for 2 more quarters, Coach. Best of luck.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you, Melanie. Flames start this second half on the ground. Frankie Hickson with the short pickup. Hickson, his entire run game really struggling in the first half. You heard the fellas talk about it. Still negative yardage on the ground in this ball game. And it's not necessarily breaking off big plays, but like you said, Joe, you just want to get something positive there. Make it a little bit easier on your quarterback. Here's some line. Room to run. That's Caleb Coleman on the reception. He's across the 30. And a Flames first down.
You know, Matt, you got to really like Dino Babers in that interview. You know, he sums up his team.
You like him in every interview. He's about as sharp a guy as you'll see.
He's so sharp, and he said, be patient. You know, he just shows patience. It's sharp, but how consistent and solid a football team they are.
Flames move the chains. Hand off, Hickson. Little room to run for the first time today. Stiff arm, drugged down from behind, but picks up about 6 on first down. Biggest run of the ball game for him.
Yeah, that's exactly what Liberty needs. Establish some type of running game in the second half and get on the board. Find a way to score a few points.
So they gave him 8 on the carry. 2nd and 2 now. Albert pulls it out, throws the slant, and it's caught. Another first down, and once again, Caleb Coleman involved. Coleman, we remember, had a big game against Troy a season ago as a freshman. Kind of hit and miss in his first year into the program last year, but they really like his talent on the outside, and as Hugh Freeze said, they need somebody else besides AGG to win on the outside.
He's another big target for Liberty. He's a big target, and he can run. He got great experience last year as a freshman. Liberty expects big things from him.
So another first down. Flames moving closer to Syracuse territory. Albert gives to Hickson. He's met in the hole and gets maybe a yard. Andrew Armstrong, linebacker, coming up making the tackle.
You know, Matt, the other side of this whole thing is if Syracuse so chooses to play man-to-man, what does that do for you defensively? It allows you to stop the run. So if they're going to play you man-to-man and they're going to load up to stop the run, then bottom line is you may not be able to run the football that effectively. However, you got to take advantage of the opportunities they're going to give you downfield.
It's a 1-yard pickup on first down. 4 wide receivers out there for Liberty. Calvert looking downfield. Here comes that pressure, trying to get away, and he won't. Hit and dropped. Again, the pressure gets to him. Josh Black gets him to the turf, and that is the 6th sack of the night for this Syracuse defense.
Yeah, we talked about earlier, Keese again keeping Buckshot clean. Haven't been able to do that, get him on the ground 6 times so far, and it's only early in the 3rd quarter.
Boy, they had, was it 43 sacks a season ago? You don't want to, obviously there's always that they're on pace for guy early in the year, you know, oh, they're on pace. Well, you don't want to start doing the math here if you're a Syracuse opponent. Calvert has time, now kind of panicked a little bit, pulled it down, and maybe started to get outside the pocket when he didn't need to.
See, this is where Syracuse is good. So now we're talking about how they played a man-to-man the whole time. So now Liberty comes in, they say at halftime, all right, we got to get our man-to-man beaters going. Now they mix it up and they go into a zone, and you can almost look like Buckshot looked as if he was a little bit confused on that play because he had some time in the pocket.
Yeah.
He just didn't know where to go with it.
So after a couple of first downs, the Flames will have to punt it away. Aiden Alva's back in. Sean Riley in there to return it. Alvis has been a bright spot for Liberty so far tonight. Low line drive kick. Riley will take it as a 20 spin. Now work his way upfield. He's got some room. Across the 30, across the 40, still on his feet. Hit and dropped as Alvis got in there to put a hit on him right around midfield.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier in the game. A guy like Sean Riley had the fumble early, and then you just knew at some point he was going to break loose, and here's a perfect example of that.
Low line drive kick, not a ton of hang time. And yeah, he'll make you pay. One of the best returners, not just in the ACC, but in the country.
That guy's got more shift than Jimmy Johnson right there.
Love our NASCAR fans tuning in tonight.
It's the 48 car, I believe. Maybe wrong about that.
It may be, I'm not sure. So Syracuse gets it now just into Flames territory. Liberty offense coming up empty once again. Handoff goes to Abdul Adams. He's got some room, picks up about 6.
To give themselves a chance defensively, Liberty's played well. Not trying to knock them whatsoever. Liberty's played a great game defensively. But to give themselves a chance defensively in the second half, they have to win on first down. Get them behind in the chains.
2nd and 4. Another handoff. Jesse Lemonnier there for the tackle. Looks like it's going to be short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd, maybe a long 1.
Haven't talked too much about Jesse Lemonnier so far this game, but I'll tell you what, he is a really, really good football player. I think personally the leader of that defense. You see how emotional he is out there jumping around, making calls. That's a fired up football player, and he's due for a great season.
Well, this crowd trying to lift their defense one more time here early in the second half. Handoff up the middle, and he didn't get it. Flames brought pressure, met, and dropped. Jesse Lemonnier getting back in there. Mari Jenkins as well. It's going to bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, this is 4th down, go for it territory right here. I think Dino Baber's going to leave his offense on the field. And
they didn't pick up an inch on that last play, so it's 4th and 2.
They ran it on 4th and 2 last time.
Flames walk a couple guys down into the box. They hand it off again. It's going to be close.
Didn't get it.
They didn't get it.
Didn't get it.
They got 1 yard. They needed 2. And you really can't ask much more than what you've gotten from this Liberty defense tonight.
I mean, that is a huge stop.
And now we see a flag in. So hold on now. Hold the phone.
That's from the far guy. What's this?
After the play was over, personal foul, number 20, Liberty. The ball turned over on downs. Therefore, the 15-yard penalty will be enforced after Liberty takes possession of the ball. First down.
Well, you get the ball back, but a penalty by Bajor Wilson. Didn't see what he did on the end of that play, but he'll give the Flames worse starting field position as they get the ball back, and he's having to explain himself. So the Flames defense gets a much-needed stop. They're still waiting to see if this offense can move the football. Liberty trails Syracuse 10-0.
Let's go.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN. One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus. This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
The situation in Thailand was unprecedented.
We didn't want them to die, and we didn't want to die ourselves.
Liberty offense held just 134 total yards so far in this game. That Syracuse D has been stingy tonight. With more on that Orange defense, we check in once again with Melanie.
It's not exactly up against Liberty that they compete against. Syracuse is number 3 in the nation when it comes to limiting teams on third down. In 2018, out of 143 third down attempts, only 42 were completed. That's under 30%. So for the Flames, they're going to have a tall task ahead of them to be able to convert that here. And it's going to be a big key if they can push any points on the board.
Yeah, they had those opportunities early in this ball game. And you hate to keep harping on it, but you got to cash in on those. Now, if you're the Flames on the field, though, we can talk about it. You've got to find a way to put that in the rearview mirror and focus on what's in front of you. First down on their own 25. Buckshot Calvert has some time, slings it wide. The catch is made. That's Gandy Golden with the reception. And he gets about 4 on first down. 6 receptions now, 119 yards for AGG.
You think, Matt, you talked about getting stopped on third down all the time, and that equates to this. You need some explosive plays. You need plays downfield.
Handoff going nowhere. Hit and dropped. Jonathan was there. Williams was there. The Flames still struggling to get much going in the run game.
Now, because now you put yourself in that situation where you're in the 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 right here, and the odds are really, Smelly just gave you the stat, the odds are really stacked against you.
Flames 0 of 6 on third down today. This will be 3rd and 7. Buckshot standing tall, firing, it's picked off! Picked off by Syracuse as Andre Cisco led the nation in picks a year ago, gets his first in 2019. Stepping in front of the intended receiver, and another turnover as this Syracuse defense just does it time after time after time.
First down Syracuse from the 37-yard line.
Cisco there stepping in front of the intended receiver. 7 interceptions a year ago as a true freshman and All-American. First ever Syracuse true freshman to earn All-American honors.
That's an All-American football player right there. You can see how he's low down to the ground, reading Buckshot's eyes, 1 step ahead, game of inches, and he makes a great play.
Yeah, Hugh Freeze, Buckshot having a conversation after that throw, and now here comes Mo Neal Full head of steam down inside the Liberty 20. Feels like this game is at that tipping point, Joe.
Yeah. But Matt, yet at the same time, Liberty's defense has responded the whole game. You have to respond in the red zone. You still hold them to a field goal over here, and you got a chance to be within 2 scores.
Hands off, going nowhere.
And one on first down right there, which is a key.
Defensive line has really done a nice job tonight. You saw Solomon Ajayi come down there from his linebacker position to make that tackle.
You know, Matt, what we've seen Liberty's defense do today, which is impressive from a coaching standpoint, they're playing square.
Swing it out, the catch made. That's Abdul Adams. He gets down inside the 5 and is dropped there. So you're seeing Syracuse, really, they haven't had much success at all throwing to receivers, but they have had a ton of success with the running backs in the passing game.
That's right. Dino Baber, as the offensive coordinator, has recognized that we're going to attack the linebackers in the passing game with our running backs, and Liberty's linebackers are getting sucked up in there. Swing pass out to the wide side of the field, and it's a big game.
Big Chris Elmore, they call him Rhino in there at fullback. They give him the ball. Rhino lowers the head, powers forward, and he's going to be short of the end zone. Chris Elmore, all 6 foot 295 of him, big boy.
It's a big dude.
Feet like a dancing bear. That's going to get him down to the 1 yard line.
That's just a lot of human mass in that pile right there. That is loaded up with human mass.
2nd and goal now from the 1. Handoff, trying to bounce it outside. Did he get in? Yes! Jarvian Howard, short yardage specialist a year ago. They bring him in with a yard to go, and he finds a way to stretch and find the end zone.
Liberty had him bottled up there, and then he was able to bounce outside, and I'd be interested to see if his knee was down before he crossed the goal line.
We'll get a good look at it here. Elmore trying to seal the edge there. That's Scruggs coming up to try to make the tackle. It does look like he was able to get that ball across the plane. They may take a look
Ruling
at
on
it.
the previous play of a touchdown is under further review.
So they want to be sure.
Need a side angle shot of that.
What are you directing from the booth? Is that what's happening here? They love it when you do that.
Yeah, they do.
Jarvian Howard last year had 7 touchdowns on just 68 carries. Looked like he just did get that one across the plane before a knee touchdown. So the officials trying to determine right now, and obviously a big call. Here's another look.
I say he's in, Matt.
Yeah, I think he is.
His knee ever touched.
Scruggs got there, just not able to drag the big 213-pound running back down. So it looks like he'll get in.
After further video review, the ruling on the field stands.
There you go.
Yep.
So Syracuse will have a chance now to push into a 17-0 lead. You start looking at the way this game is heading. Syracuse, that offense seems like it's been on the field a lot here lately. Liberty now in a situation where they've got to kind of speed things up and make some things happen throwing the football. Schmidt on for the extra point, up and good. And now Syracuse and this defense has you right where they want you. They've got those quick rush ins. Get ready to see them come off the edge here as Liberty's about to get the football back, trailing by 7.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN+. This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN+.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
Beautiful night in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, as they say here in Lynchburg, Virginia. It's been beautiful for Syracuse so far. They lead at 17-0, taking advantage first of the Cisco interception as Buckshot Calvert tried to force one downfield, and then Jarvion Howard finished it off with the stretch for the end zone. So it's kind of put up or shut up time now for this Liberty offense. You're at that point.
Yeah.
You've already dug a deep enough hole. You got to find a way to scratch and claw your way back into this ball game. If you've got any tricks up your sleeve at this point, you better pull them all out.
You know, the thing is, when you look at Liberty, they've actually been able to create some turnovers and get some stops on fourth, do those type of things, but there's nothing to show for it. Points off turnovers, being able to score is what makes difference in the ball games. We always talk about turnovers, but to score off those turnovers is what changes games. Liberty has not been able to do that, but yet at the same time, on the other side, Cisco makes a great interception. Off they go, touchdown Syracuse.
Assistant coach Maurice Harris down there, basically the head coach on the field here tonight, rallying the troops. Buckshot Calvert's numbers, 144 yards. Keep in mind, 119 of those have gone to Antonio Gandy Golden. One knock on Buckshot in the past has been sometimes he locks in on AGG. I don't know if that's necessarily been the case tonight, but not a lot of other guys have been able to free themselves.
Hey, playing that man coverage, and now you're going to start seeing them mixing it up in some zone coverage here.
Aiden Pickett dropped in the backfield. Good play there as Mikel Jones, freshman linebacker, able to chase him down from the backside.
Yeah, Matt, you said it right before break, is that now you give the opportunities for two All-American defensive ends to pin their ears back, put their hand in the ground, and get after the quarterback. That's when this thing can get a little bit scary.
Second and 12. Three wide receivers out for the Flames. Buckshot running out of time. Bang! Hit, dropped. Black there to put the finishing lick on him. And that is sack number 7 now on the night for the Orange.
Now, once again, man-to-man coverage across the board. Syracuse brings pressure. Buckshot can't see anybody that can get any type of separation. He's got nowhere to go with the ball. He can't blame him. Receivers have to get some separation in order to give him some throws. It's hard to hold up in the pocket. Receivers aren't getting any separation.
Brandon Berry also coming in there around Calvert's ankles there on that play. So 3rd and 14 now.
Now you're going to see Syracuse rush 3, drop 8 guys, play zone, and try to.
Calvert going to keep it. That's bounces off the Whitney tackler. He gets back some of the yardage they lost, but it'll bring up 4th and 10.
Yeah, you lose on first down, you lose on second down, put yourself in 3rd and forever, and you're in an impossible situation. You just got to punt the ball and hope to get a quick stop on defense.
Flames with 137 yards of total offense, -7 rushing yards, thanks mostly to all that yardage he lost on the sacks.
Yeah.
They have had a hard time moving the football tonight. Aiden Alvis back in there, he's getting a workout. Line drive kick, Riley will take it. How dangerous he is, circles back, trying to get outside. Racing to the near sideline and finally bumped out of bounds. He went a long way to get about 4 yards. But you see why he is so fun to watch, one of the better return men in the country. Step aside, Syracuse in control here, 17-0.
With AI, we can protect what we can't see.
To protect snow leopards, you need to know where they are. Microsoft AI scans thousands of camera trap images and separates snow leopards from everything else, so we can save this threatened species.
Every day, visionaries are creating the future. So every day, we put our latest technology and unrivaled network to work. The United States Postal Service makes more e-commerce deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country. Because the future only happens with people who really know how to deliver it.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus. This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
Back at Williams Stadium.
Camels, just desert horses.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a point.
That's a good point.
Don't know.
The point's solid.
Seems a little,
but I'm not sure
out of nowhere there.
Yeah,
but anyway, Tommy DeVito, how good's he been tonight? His first start, a little shaky, a little up and down. Joe, how would you grade his first collegiate start?
Yeah, probably about what you expect it to be. I mean, he's 12 of 27, 150 yards. He's made some real. I think he's showing great patience as a quarterback. I think a couple times where he was able to get outside the pocket and run and not force the ball. But then at the same time, he has forced an interception late in the first half down in the red zone. So yeah, he's had some good, he's had some bad, but overall, I mean, he's definitely their future. No question about that.
Yeah, had trouble getting on track with his receivers tonight. We've seen some miscommunication at times between him and Tristan Jackson and some of his other receivers.
But yet at the same time, the offensive coordinator has set him up very well, because where they've exposed Liberty is in their linebackers and coverage on the running backs. And they've been able to get this on the swing passes and the wheel routes and whatnot, being able to get the ball out of the backfield to those running backs, and that's where a lot of the yardage has come from.
Jarvion Howard on the carry, just like that, third down, 3rd and 2. They swing it out. Catch is made by Riley. He has the first down and is shoved out of bounds after a nice pickup. Riley maybe hasn't been quite as involved as we thought he might be. Just his 3rd reception. He's got about 25 yards or so through the air.
Yeah, they do have the Liberty secondary-wise, they have done an outstanding job on some really good receivers. These are long, these are athletic, these are quick receivers, and secondary-wise, I think Liberty's played an outstanding football game against those very good receivers.
Well, they haven't made it, let them get any easy or big plays down the field. They made them earn everything they've gotten so far. Handoff, hit, dropped. Solomon Ajayi coming up and making the tackle. Younger brother of NFL running back Jay Ajayi, senior linebacker, tied for the team lead in tackles a year ago, and had a pretty nice game here tonight.
Don't make any mistake, Matt. This Syracuse offense is a really good offense, and I am pleasantly surprised at how well the defense of Liberty has held up. They have made it tackled well. They've done a lot of good things. Just haven't done much offensively.
Vito has some time, now swings it out. The catch is made, trying to get to the edge, and drugged down is Jarvion Howard. Nice play there by Ryan Davis to get him to the turf for a short pickup.
See, that's a perfect example right there. Ryan Davis comes up, gets him on the ground, gets him down, only a 3-yard gain instead of breaking a tackle and turning that into a 12 or 15-yard gain. That's just good fundamental football and good fundamental tackling.
So you get another third down opportunity, 3rd and 7. Vito feels some pressure, lofting down the field, and he overshot his intended target. He was looking for Tristan Jackson. Those two have just not been able to get on the same page tonight, and it'll bring on the punting unit.
Tristan Jackson had him beat by a step, and DeVito just let him out there a little bit too far. Is able to step in the pocket. I think that's a throw that he wish he had back.
So Sterling Hoffrichter comes on. DJ Stubbs stands with his heels on his own 10-yard line. See if the Flames try to bring pressure here, try to see if they can make something happen on special teams. They don't, drop it back. That would be able to land and kick into the end zone, and the Flames will bring it out to the 20. So once again, this defense, you know, you keep saying it, it feels like, you know, a broken record. We keep saying the same thing again, but if you had seen this Liberty defense the last couple of years, you'd be just as stunned as we are.
No question.
With the way that they're playing tonight.
And then on the other side of the ball, Liberty last year, what, Matt, they averaged 34, 36 points a game.
Yeah.
Something like that, and we're still sitting here waiting on the first points in 2019. And it goes back to, just take some shots downfield. You have AGG, a long, tall, strong receiver. Just throw the ball downfield, let him go up and make a 50-50 play to have some type of explosive play.
Calvert get enough time in the pocket to let his receivers get downfield, trying to connect there. That one a little bit off target as he was trying to hook up with the tight end, Johnny Huntley. Haven't heard his name called a lot. He's a guy they hope can be a weapon for them. Former 4-star wide receiver, started his career at Colorado, transferred here to Liberty, and has now transitioned into the tight end role. And they really haven't been able to get him involved here so far tonight. Calvert pump fake, now swings it out wide. That catch is made by Stubbs. Picks up positive yardage, and it's going to bring up 3rd, maybe 2.
That's another guy, DJ Stubbs, had a lot over 50 receptions last year. He's a fast motor, has good quick twitch muscles, and you find a way to do exactly this. Throw the ball horizontally to him, let him get it out in space, and pick up 8-9 yards on 2nd down, put yourself into a 3rd and short. Now, this is manageable.
Yeah, 3rd and 2, they're calling it. Peyton Pickett in the ball game. They're going to give it to him, Pickett his way, lowering his shoulder. He's got the 1st down. Take that back. That was Frankie Hickson there with the patient run. So the Flames able to move the chains as clock ticks down towards 1 minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. Flames have a good crowd on hand here tonight. It feels like they've just been waiting for something all night long. Defense has given them a few highlights, but boy, that's about all we've seen.
Band's over there sitting on their trombones right now. They got to have something to play.
That one deflected as Buckshot was trying to hook up with Antonio Gandy Golden. That one tipped at the line and falls incomplete. Calvert just 13 of 23 on the night. Get another look at that one.
Tip.
That was the linebacker, Andrew Armstrong. Got his hand on that.
You know, you watch these inside linebackers play for Syracuse. They do a really good job, not only in the run. They are pluggers. They will plug up the hole in the run game, but they also do a good job of dropping back into their zones, getting their hands on tip footballs like that.
Roll Buckshot out of the pocket, standing, throwing, and sails it into about the first row of the stands. Well, here's the thing, and you heard Hugh Freeze say it when we spoke with him at the half. He said he felt like Calvert was getting a little jittery at times.
Yeah.
And when you've got pressure on you like that play after play, even those plays where the pressure isn't there, you still feel it. You feel like it should be, and it can make you rush things a bit.
I mean, you come in at halftime, you get sacked, what was it, 5-6 times by half. That'll put a little bit of the jitters in you.
3rd and 10 now. Calvert gonna hold it, look downfield, pump fake, wrapped up, slumped down like a rag doll. Kendall Coleman got to him. Sack number 8 for the Orange.
Yeah, Buckshot had some time right there. He was trying to hit Coleman on the dig route, but then Kendall Coleman's able to collapse the pocket. And it's tough. It's tough. You're talking about 2 All-American defensive ends that have a 17-0 lead. That is what they are looking for.
8 sacks tonight. They're almost They're closing in on a quarter of their sack total from all of last year. So they're getting it done. 1.5 sacks for Williams. A bunch of other guys have been in on it. That punt, fair catch called for and taken by Riley. But boy, there have been just a number of Syracuse defenders. Coleman with 2, Black with 2 sacks. They have been all over the place, and Flames offense can't get its footing. Syracuse leads at 17-0, trying to finish off.
Hey, my name is George, and I love the Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets. It's like me grilling at home. It tastes very similar to that, except the seasoning. I probably can't season it as well as Chick-fil-A does. The chicken's super tender, and honestly, the best nuggets I've ever tasted.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
Built under the lights to electrify the city. Built to bring the thunder with fire and flavor. Get your tickets today to witness the 2019 U.S. Open. Built for glory.
Donald Sterling was the slumlord of sports.
Yeah, it bothers me a lot that you're associating with black people.
Y'all knew who he was. Why are you surprised?
The best in baseball. One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
Are you ready for all the football, all the time, in a season that never ends? Well, these 6 planes are ready. This grandpa's ready. The fans are ready. The teams are ready. Are you ready?
Hey, we welcome you back to Lynchburg, Virginia. The Orangemen on top currently by a score of 17-0. All right, let's go after Joe Yock here a little bit, guys, because you hear him there. He's saying, hey, guys, this is what we need to do. We just need to get a 50-50 ball down to AGG and give him some time to get down there. Right now there's 8 sacks, Joe. I don't know how on earth you expect this offensive line to hold up and give AGG enough time to get down there.
You know, we were talking about it in the quarter before we came on. Some of these sacks are on the offensive line. A lot of them recently, the last few, have been coverage sacks.
Right.
These guys can't get open, and you know it looks like Buckshot is trying to hit AGG and only AGG. He needs to start spreading the love around. Credit to Frankie Hickson, though, doing everything he can when he's in there blocking, trying to pass block.
Matt, I totally agree with you, but as a former receiver coming to Joe Yock's defense here, give me the ball.
What?
Let me make a play. I want the ball. Just throw it up there. But you're exactly right. Coverage sacks are really hurting Liberty right now.
Okay, so if you want to make a play, though, where are you going with this? Like, obviously, you're not going to just go you do a fade down the sideline. What do you want? What do you want him to do? A slant route? What's going on?
We haven't tried a fade.
Okay.
We're not even trying the fade ball right now. Try and get the ball in your best player's hands.
All right, let's hear from Joe. Let's allow him to defend himself now. Obviously, we're kind of giving him the business here, but he wants to get the ball in AGG's hands. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Joe, don't let him do that to you.
Don't
let him do that to you.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Rat.
Tell me something, Joe.
You have no idea what you're talking about. okay? Just take the ball, 3-step drop, and yes, throw a fade down the sideline and throw AGG a 50-50 ball and let him say, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to snag the ball there and I'm going to make a play for my team.
Keep going. Keep preaching.
And then I'm going to grab him by the face
We
and I'm
want the
going to
ball.
throw his face to the ground and then I'm going to run for a touchdown.
So high right now.
Woo!
Appreciate that, guys. Now I've got to deal with Joe all wound up for the last 14:35 of this ball game. Right now it's Liberty defense on the field, as they have played well tonight. A good tackle there coming up. Brandon Tillman, I think, that came up and made that tackle. It is. Haven't heard a lot from Tillman. He's been dinged up throughout a lot of camp and practice in the lead up to this opener. But a good tackle there, as it'll bring up 3rd and long for Syracuse. Well, the bottom line is, first you need to get the stop.
Yep.
And then we'll address some of your concerns and some of your plans on the offensive side of things as we get a whistle before the snap. And Liberty's going to take a timeout, their first here of the second half.
Timeout. Liberty, their first of the half.
So 3rd and 10. Flames maybe didn't like the look they saw or want to just chat it over here before this big 3rd down play. And we're going to step aside as well. Joe's all ready to jump in. He had some sort of comment. You'll get your chance. You'll get your chance when we come back on ESPN+.
Introducing the entirely redesigned 2019 Acura RDX. It's everything we ever imagined, and then some.
Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
Are you ready for all the football, all the time, in a season that never ends? Well, these 6 planes are ready. This grandpa's ready. The fans are ready. The teams are ready. Are you ready?
.59 to go in the ball game. 17-0 Syracuse. Liberty just announced 21,671 here to see this one, 3rd most ever for a Liberty game. So take a look at this Liberty defense. Allowed over 6 yards of play last year. So far tonight, just over 4. So again, we've been telling you, this defense has been up to the task tonight. I think if you had told Hugh Freeze before tonight, hey, they'll have 17 points in the 4th quarter, he'd have signed up for that every single time. Speaking of Syracuse, and they have another opportunity here to get the ball back for their offense on 3rd and long. Vito has a lot of room to run, slides down, he's going to be short, and a flag comes in. That's going to be a personal foul, as DeVito may be shaken up as well. Flames coming in, he gave himself up going into a slide. Seneca Espinoza delivered the hit, and that's going to move the chains.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness with targeting. Number 6 defense. The play is under further review.
So they're going to take a look at it's not targeting. I mean, he hit him with it looked like his backside. Yeah. So I don't know that targeting will end up being the call, but he had gone into a slide and given himself up. And you just have to be a little bit more aware than that in that situation. He was going to be short of the 1st down as it was.
Now, what's the rule in college football, Matt, on the slide? Is he down where the slide starts, or is he down where he's touched? I think he's.
Well, as soon as that knee touches, wherever the ball is. So yeah, he was going to be short.
He was definitely going to be short right there. Yeah, and that's a tough, because you're in a 3rd and 10. You're trying, the quarterback scrambling to come and make play. Once you see him slide, you got to back off him. But I agree, there's no intention of targeting right there. So Espinoza should be allowed to stay in the ball game.
One more look. As he really oddly kind of led with his back there as he rolled into him. We'll see what the officials decide here in this situation. Dino Babers, if you're on his side, you can't be thrilled with what you've seen tonight. You're just wanting to grit your teeth, get through this one, pick up the W, and move on and improve. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it goes back
After further video review, there is no foul for targeting. Number 6 is not disqualified from the game. The unnecessary roughness will be enforced 15 yards and an automatic first down.
So there you go. It hurts nonetheless, but Espinoza can stay in the ball game. So he had an opportunity on 3rd down to get it back. As you take a look at explanation of the targeting rule there. There was no launching. It wasn't really a hit up around the head or neck area. So yeah, I think the right call certainly was made in that situation. But even so, Syracuse maintains possession and has the ball right at midfield.
It's a 3rd down conversion, a 3rd and 10 conversion for Syracuse.
They're 50% on the night on 3rd down. Handoff up the middle, going nowhere. Hit, drop. Brandon Tillman, the first one to arrive on the scene.
You know, Matt, there's 2 areas where we've consistently talked about how much Liberty looks improved on defense, and the 2 areas you're really seeing, what I've seen tonight, is the multiple looks that they've given Syracuse, I think, has given them problems. And then the second thing, so that's a schematic part of the game. So they've given them multiple looks, and that has given Syracuse some problems. And then the other thing that Liberty has done very well is they've tackled well. They've got players on the ground at the first contact.
Vito with time to throw, sends that one high and wide of his target. And Tristan Jackson has to be saying, man, we went through all camp, all practice. What did I do to you? I mean, we've been on the same page all that time, and we cannot seem to connect here tonight.
Yeah, they've been a little bit out of sync, but that's what these early games are for. And as the old saying in football is, that the football teams make their most improvement from the first game to the second game. That second game is usually played a lot cleaner.
Jackson's been targeted 7 times, and they've only completed 1 his way. So another 3rd and long, 3rd and 10.
See what Liberty does here.
Handoff up the middle. Mo Neal lowers the shoulder, and he's going to get about 9 of the needed 10 yards. So it gives them a good opportunity to go for it on 4th down, which it appears they will.
You know, Mo Neal he's a square-shouldered runner. He gets his shoulders square, gets north and south, pad levels down. Really good running back.
4th down. Neal again, breaking free. He's going to go off to the races. Touchdown, Syracuse. 41 yards to the house. He'd been plugging along, and then broke through the line that time. Great blocking up front, and he was able to walk it in.
You know, you look at Syracuse and you look at Dino Babers and you go back to what he said at halftime. He said, if we're going to be patient, if we're patient, good things will happen. And they've been patient, and then bang, Dino breaks one down for a touchdown right there, and outstanding patience and great run.
And that blocking up front, fantastic job by that offensive line. Extra point, up and through, and Syracuse stretches their lead to 24. Mo Neal, great running back in his final year with Syracuse, helps push his team towards the finish line, all orange at this point.
This football season, sharing a Coke at McDonald's just got even more rewarding.
Love the dogs. Great pick.
Just grab a Coke, scan the cup in the McDonald's app, and you're entered for a chance to win cash prizes and football gear.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
tomorrow on ESPN. One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus. This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 242, looking to keep his undefeated record intact. Lightweight superstar Khabib Nurmagomedov returns to the octagon to defend his title. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
All Syracuse tonight. They lead it 24-0. 12:35 to go in the ball game. And as you might expect, spirits a little low down there on that Liberty bench. We check in once again with Melanie Newman.
Thanks. So, guys, we've mentioned how high Hugh Freeze's spirits were earlier today. They could probably use that right about now. Every sack that has come, you just see a little more of the stress, the tension, and the upset emotions towards it. Hats being thrown on the ground, deep sighs. These guys need to find a way to control their emotions, band it together, not only find a middle road, but a little bit of a boost to get themselves into this contest.
Well, I don't know about Middle Road, but they were playing Old Town Road here on the stadium speakers a moment ago, so not sure if that'll help or not. My partner Joe is enjoying it, if nothing else.
Grooving.
That kick taken inside the 5. Shadro Lewis on the return, trying to bounce it near side. It is surrounded and dropped at about the 17. Did that ball come out? Syracuse is on it. No, the official there saying he was down. The Orange trying to claim they had a turnover. The Flames will get it with less than great field position, and yeah, clearly down.
Yep.
So right now, Joe, you're down 24-0. This game looking like probably out of reach here in your opener, but still time to find something positive moving forward. Is that kind of what you're looking for at this point? Something to feel good about here in the last 12 minutes of this ball game.
I want to see this offensive line still compete, still trying to protect Buckshot. He has all these sacks on him right now. He's sitting back there probably a little bit more nervous than a flea on dip day right now, and so right now we got to be able to see him.
I don't even know what does that even mean?
Well, if you're a flea and it's dip day,
okay,
you're an on the dog, and you'd be a little bit nervous, wouldn't you, man?
I don't know.
I mean, I'd be a little bit nervous, but no, I definitely want to see him protect the quarterback.
Buckshot, there was an opportunity rolling out. He had DJ Stubbs open, overshot him. Haven't been many good looks down the field really at all today. You think even some of the big plays, Gandy Golden, the 56-yarder, a lot of that was catch it 10 yards downfield and then make everything happen with your legs after that, make a man miss, stiff arm a guy. There haven't been a lot of shots down the field, and as the fellas in the studio said, hasn't been a lot of time to let that develop either.
These are the ones you need to convert right here. There you go.
Albert hits his target. That's Stubbs there on the far sideline, fighting for every yard. Hit, dropped, but picks up a much-needed first down.
Love DJ Stubbs. That is a kid. He doesn't care what the score is. It doesn't matter to him. He wants a football, and he loves to compete. Saw that last year out of him. No matter what's going on, he loves to compete.
Junior had 300-yard receiving games a year ago. Throwing it downfield, trying to connect with Gandy Golden. That one down around his knees with the pass from Calvert, and AGG couldn't flag it down.
But we like those. That's what you like. You like to be able to get Buckshot back there, and that was a quick strike on a little, 6-yard slant, a little quick slant to the post route, and you get the ball out of his hand quickly against that man-to-man coverage. I'm actually surprised they did it a little bit early on. Surprised they haven't tried that more with as much man-to-man as they've seen today.
They're going to roll Buckshot out again, being pressured, and he's just going to throw it away. He was getting chased down there as trying to roll him out. You've seen that from time to time tonight. They've tried to get him out of the pocket, but really that hasn't done a whole lot to free him up from that pressure.
Yeah, when you're being able to roll out of the pocket and do those things, I really prefer when you're seeing a lot of zone defenses. You get tight end crossers, slot crossers, and those guys are able to find the areas and find the holes that they can sit down to and get those throws. It's tougher against man-to-man.
Third down. Calvert on the move. Just drops it off for about 3 yards there to Peyton Pickett. And that'll bring up 4th down.
He was a little nervous right there. You see that?
Yeah. He has been hounded all night long, and you saw the pressure coming right there. Kingsley Jonathan bearing down on him, and just trying to get out of there. And
like to see him going for it, 4th down.
Go for it, 4th and 7.
Yeah.
Listen, you don't see it a lot of times on your own side of the field,
That's
even
right.
in a game like this, but you say at this point, what do you have to lose?
Okay, make a play, something positive right here.
Syracuse rushes just 3. Calvert with time, has a man, and boy,
Adam.
Yanni Golden 6'4", he would have needed to be about 12'4" on that play. As that one sailed up and over his head. Looked like Buckshot had him open and just couldn't connect, so the Flames turned it over on downs.
Yeah, you can see it's cover 2 right there, so the corner's trying to sink, but there is a sweet spot in between the safety and the corner. There's that we refer to, the coaches refer to as that's a honey hole right there in that little sweet spot. And and Buckshot just
look at Dino. Couldn't snag the football, went through his hand, so he drops and gives you the push-ups. You see that?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that guy's probably done a few push-ups in his time. He looks like he can get out there and play a little bit, doesn't he?
I'll tell you what, man, Dino looks like he would eat both of us as a Scooby snack.
So Syracuse trying to put the finishing touches on salting this one away as the clock ticks down under 11 minutes to go. Abdul Adams with the carry. Adams now 14 carries, closing in on 50 yards on the ground.
Matt, I've got a trivia question for you coming up later whenever you're ready for it.
When the mood strikes?
When the mood strikes you and you want to put your trivia cap on, you just let me know.
Adams run to the far side, has the edge, flag comes in. This one may be coming back as he gets knocked out of bounds on the far sideline. Flag came in as soon as he was turning the corner. I think you're going to get a hold here.
Holding, number 52, offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So they got the hold on Carlos Vettorello, right tackle. Wipes out a big run there from Abdul Adams. All right, give me the trivia question. What do you got, Joe?
You want it?
Yeah, I want. Let's go.
All right, here goes. What very famous Syracuse football player played with me, Joe Yock, in the CFL with the Hamilton Tiger Cats?
Wow, this is a really specific
very
question.
Famous, yeah. So a very famous retired his jersey in 2013, I believe.
Let me mull that one over for a little bit.
Mull that one over.
Vito swings it out. Catch made. Christian Jackson with the snag. Gets back some of the yardage they lost. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
I can give you like a little.
Give me a little hint. Yeah, I'll take it. It's Jackson with the second reception.
You don't know?
I don't know.
No guesses yet?
No guesses.
All right, he was the winner of the Maxwell Award. You know what the Maxwell Award is?
It's a lineman award, right?
No. Outstanding quarterback. Most outstanding quarterback, winner of the Maxwell, and runner-up for the Heisman Trophy out of Syracuse. Come on, man.
Vito slings it out. The catch is made by Abdul Adams. Running backs being involved in the passing game. That continues. What year was this?
We played together in Hamilton in 92-93 season.
Quarterback.
Great guy.
Another holding call.
Great guy.
3rd down.
So that will back them up. Again, a couple of penalties now. You say runner-up for the Heisman?
Oh, the Syracuse fans right now listening are going, come on,
they're shredding me.
I mean, he's over there. He's going, Alexa, who was runner-up for the Heisman? Yeah, he's over there. Google
that was
search.
probably all back before I was
retired
born.
jersey. There's only a handful of retired jerseys.
Oh, of course. Was it Don McPherson.
Don McPherson.
Yeah, of course,
There you go. Donnie Mack.
Yeah.
Donnie Mack was.
Should have known that.
Donnie Mack was a great guy.
I mean, I was 2 when that happened. When he was a finalist for the Heisman. But, you know, that's my bad.
Come on.
We didn't have cable at the time, so I didn't, I didn't. Good one, Yak. We'll take a timeout.
I got a good Donnie Mack story when you come back.
All right,
Donnie Mack story.
Look forward to that. Syracuse 24-zip.
And Doug.
And now, for their service to the community, we present Limu Imu and Doug with this key to the city.
It's an honor to tell you that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. And now, we need to get back to work. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
UFC 242. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
This is our stage. The UFC on ESPN Plus.
The best in baseball. One night a week, one place to watch. Mets, Phillies, Sunday Night Baseball, tomorrow on ESPN.
24-0 Syracuse. Fireworks show here nearby in Lynchburg. Having a lot of fireworks for this Liberty offense, that's for sure. Syracuse, though, a nice touchdown scamper from O'Neal here on their last scoring drive. They have it right now, 3rd and 19 to go on the Liberty 49.
Screen?
Why not? It's worked
Screen?
basically every time tonight.
I'm calling screen.
For this Syracuse offense. See if they go back to the well one more time.
I bet even Rhett McGibbon would call for a screen.
Might be giving them too much credit. 3rd and 19. Here we go. Those that have remained here at Williams Stadium will be trying to get their defense to get another stop. Syracuse 8 of 17 on 3rd down tonight. They swing it out wide, caught by Jackson. He'll get a few yards, step out of bounds, and bring up 4th down. And they're going to bring on the punting unit.
Okay, Matt, let me tell you my Donnie McPherson story. Okay, so we're playing in Hamilton, and Donnie's our quarterback. Well, there's 5 of us that all roomed together. We had this great house. It was right on in Ontario on the lake, and it was beautiful. And so all the roommates in practice, whenever somebody do something really good, make a good play, they'd say, "I see you, roomie.
Yeah.
I see you, roomie." Right? Well, Donnie McPherson, everybody's yelling this around practice, and Donnie McPherson comes up to me one day, and he says, "You know, I want to be a roomie." And I said, "Donnie, but you're not a roomie."
So he wasn't in the house?
No, he didn't live in the house. So Donnie wasn't part of it. He wasn't one of the roomies, right? So I said, "Donnie, here's the deal. Here's what we'll do. Saturday after the game, okay, we're gonna have a little get together at our place, right? Nice little gathering at our place. And if you're willing to sleep on the couch,
just one night.
If you're willing to sleep on the couch,
honorary roommate.
Right, I'll make you an honorary roommate, right?" And so Donnie McPherson came over, slept on the couch for one night, and then sure enough, the next practice comes and he drops back to pass and looks down. We had Earl Winfield, who was a Hall of Fame player for us, and Donnie just lays it out there, and Earl catches it right stride. It's beautiful, and all the roomies start yelling, "I see you, roomie! I see!" And Donnie McPherson he had that big grin. He had the biggest grin. It was all worth it to him.
He'll say it's the greatest moment of his
football career. I mean, the Maxwell Award, high run for the Heisman, now retired jersey. No, I see you, roomie.
Yeah, that's it. Right there at the top of the list. Flames starting this drive on their own 6. That's Troy Henderson in the backfield as Calvert slings it out. DJ Stubbs trying to get loose. He does. Wow, he made something out of nothing there. And
always compete.
Yeah, some effort there from number 5. Stubbs' 4th reception of the night. He now goes over 40 yards receiving. Hand off. Middle, not a lot of running room. It looks like they'll have enough for the first down as once again Troy Henderson, redshirt freshman, 5'10", 180, a little smaller, quicker back in there now for a look late in this ball game. We saw Josh Mack, remember, we saw him way back for 2 carries early in this game, one of which went for a fumble inside the 5-yard line. I haven't seen him again. That pass intended for Damian King. Haven't called his name tonight. That one sailed a little bit behind him.
Yeah, a little bit surprised after Joshua Mack had that fumble that we haven't seen him more. I mean, here's a guy that was a transfer from, was it Maine?
Yeah, he led the FCS in rush yards per game.
Exactly. I mean, this is a workhorse type of running back, and yeah, it's first game of the season. He had a bad play down in the red zone, but surprised that they give him another chance to get back out there and get a few more carries. I think he's a good-looking football player.
2nd and long. Howard looks to throw, sling it, has Damian King open. He makes the catch just shy of the 40. Flames moving the football a little bit here, and even with the score the way it is, once again, you're just wanting to build a little confidence, some positives, moving forward. Flames hustle up to the line. Calvert going to throw it again. Looking to the sideline. The catch is made. Boy, good job there on the near sideline. Caleb Coleman able to get the feet down.
Some of these young guys get some confidence right here. Like you said, just some positive habit, get some potential points on the board. Guys like Caleb Coleman, you go to bed at night, remember you made that catch right there, and that helps you for the next game, no question. It's a really nice catch.
3 receptions for 25 yards tonight for Coleman. Calvert trying to hit the slant. That one deflected up into the air. The Flames fortunate it fell harmlessly to the turf. Calvert now 18 of 35 on the evening. So 2nd, nope, maybe that 3rd and 3 now for Liberty. As it has been tough sled for the offense. They have now gone over 200 total yards. That run goes up the middle, not much there. Henderson trying to pick his way for the first down. It looks like he'll be a little bit shy.
Got to go for it again here on 4th down.
4th and 2 for the Flames. A little movement, free play. That one thrown out of bounds. The intended receiver Coleman, but they'll pick up the necessary yardage on the penalty. 2nd time tonight, Syracuse has jumped on 3rd down.
Offside, defense, number 42. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
You know, Matt, one of the things that really we need to talk about is the effect that Hugh Freeze and the staff have had on recruiting here at Liberty. You look back and you start seeing the type of players that they're able to recruit in now. They, I believe, recruited a total of, what was it, 7 3-star kids.
Good catch once again. Stubbs coming to play here late in this one. Tough catch of traffic. Nope, they wave it off. Say it wasn't able to corral it.
Yeah, so you'll see Liberty as they've, you look around this place and their facilities, the new locker room that they just opened up, the indoor football facility, all that kind of stuff. It has really, really made a difference in their recruiting, and that's going to pay huge dividends down the road.
There's a look at one of the new facilities, the locker room there on the ground floor of that building. That's basically all that's completed in that building right now is the Liberty locker room that they finally were able to use 2 days ago. Getting in there just right at the buzzer before their home opener.
Ruling on the previous play of an incomplete pass is under further review.
So they're going to take a look. That one, Buckshot Calvert trying to fit it in there to DJ Stubbs. Ruled incomplete on the field. Let's see if we can get another look at it. Hard to tell there.
Right here should be the look.
I don't know.
Let's
Couldn't
see.
tell if that actually hit the turf. It obviously moved quite a bit.
I think he caught that.
I don't think I saw it bounce off the turf. We'll see. See if they see something that gives them the feeling like they can overturn it. 24-0 Syracuse here late in this one as we're getting a little booth review.
Yeah, that's a catch. Say that's a catch. Cheer for you.
Talk about Liberty battling here late down. If you're Syracuse, though, you're on the defensive side saying, listen, man, we're 5:57 away from pitching a shutout in our opener.
Yeah.
There comes that pride on your side where, the game may be out of reach, but we want more than just the W now. We're looking to kind of really put the salt in the wound.
I think Matt Warner just jumped into the Syracuse huddle over there.
I mean,
and
said,
at this
point,
he said, boys, let's go, let's finish this thing off.
If you're a competitor, that's kind of what you're doing. And this was the play of the game, really. Liberty with the ball inside the 5. They cough it up. Obviously, there have been a number of turnovers, 3 tonight for the Flames, 8 sacks for Syracuse as well. Their defense has been fantastic. We're about to get an explanation here on the review. Nope. Said, you know what? We'll just go play on.
Play on. Carry on, man. Carry on.
Nothing to see here. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
This Syracuse defense is legit. Like, see him in person now and watch it a little different, even watching him on film. This defense is well coached with really good football players.
Troy Henderson gets a couple of yards, and it'll bring up 3rd and 8. Yeah, you just see, well, we talked about going into linebackers a little inexperienced, and that's something where you hope they continue to get better, but the defensive line is just as good or better than we expected. That defensive, the safeties, the defensive backs, those guys have been incredible today. Calvert flushed in the pocket again, on the run, looking downfield, throws, has his man, caught by Kevin Shaw, and he's knocked out of bounds after getting the 1st down.
Love to see Buckshot making those plays, able to scramble out of trouble, break contain. Seaver works down towards the sidelines. Buckshot delivers a strike on a 3rd down conversion. That's confidence building.
Flames now inside that Syracuse 30. Calvert, a little hesitation, now fired into double coverage, trying to fit it into Stubbs.
Yeah, that's a miss. That's one that Coach Freeze will pull up on the film. And offensive coordinator Ken Austin had the outside receiver. Not sure, I think it might have been Damian King down on a post route against cover 0 where the safety comes down. And he's run that post. That should be an easy throw right over the top. And that was the best chance they had for a quick strike touchdown right there. He just missed it. Went to the wrong receiver.
.38 attempts tonight for Buckshot Calvert. There's 39, swings it out to Stubbs. Not a whole lot of room to work with, keeps those legs moving, and is able to pick up 4 or 5 there to bring up a manageable 3rd down.
Can't say enough about DJ Stubbs. He's an athletic competitor. This 50-plus catches last year. I think you're going to see as this new coaching staff gets to know DJ in game-type situations, how he rises to the occasion, and he'll become more and more involved each and every week.
Tonight, 5 receptions. That's 2nd most on the team. Ball loose on the ground, recovered by Syracuse. That defensive line making it happen again. That was 57, Kingsley Jonathan. Just swatted it out of Buckshot Calvert's hands and then fell on top of it. This D-line is just relentless.
Yeah, they just keep coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. They're not looking at the scoreboard. They are playing until the final. That clock hits hits triple zeros, they're playing this game all the way to the end. And that's how you build a football program around an attitude that allows you to compete in a division like the Atlantic Division in the ACC. You're going up against some big dogs in that conference, starting with the national champs.
Well, Syracuse, I mean, you talk about what they have coming up. They start this season with 2 road games here and then at Maryland before the game everybody's waiting for. That game with Clemson at home on September 14th. We know what that matchup's been like the past couple of years. As we check in one more time with Melanie Newman, who wants to talk about the relationship between these head coaches.
Well, I know that the scoreboard isn't exactly what Liberty fans want to see right now, but Hugh Freeze has mentioned time and time again how much he appreciates his relationship with Dino Babers. The two actually met in Pebble Beach in the offseason, so they got to know each other a little bit, and of course, they've studied each other's resumes. They know their background and what each of them is capable of. It goes back to that sideline demeanor for Syracuse, the fact that they've been quiet and subdued, controlled in their victories because they know that they still owe Freeze some respect here. And for Freeze, this is actually an okay situation. He said the biggest growth comes from when you're challenged, and he knew they were going to be pushed today. So if anything, this is going to be a tremendous momentum forward for them as they learn from the mistakes made today, guys.
Yeah, they're going to need to rebound, and Liberty will head out on the road after this game as they travel on down to Louisiana next week. Liberty with 4 of their first 5 games here at home. So after that, they return for 3 straight here at Williams Stadium. So a chance here in the early portion of the schedule to make a little noise and get on track. But this has not been the outcome they wanted. And I think for an offensive-minded coach like Hugh Freeze, probably a little more frustrating than anything as well, in the fact that that's your calling card, and it just hasn't been there tonight. Punt is away. It's going to take a big, high Syracuse hop. Flag comes in as well as that one rolls down towards the 10-yard line.
You know, the question is, Matt, how do you, for Liberty coaching staff, how do you play this? Do you play the positives out of this game defensively, so many good things done, or do you go in there and just get up in their shorts and get on them and demand more and more from them, which you know they're always going to demand more and more from them. But I really believe that there is a lot of positives for Liberty to take away from this game, especially defensively.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be all or nothing there in that scenario.
Question.
I mean, your defense can feel pretty good about the fight and the way
down,
they played tonight.
Number 16 of the kicking team went out of bounds on his own and came back in bounds. That 5-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the kick. First down.
But yeah, certainly I think this offense is going to be challenged here this next week to be better than they were. You're looking ahead. Liberty, as we mentioned, goes to Louisiana next week. They lost to Mississippi State 38-28 today, so they put up a pretty good fight there. For Syracuse, traveling to Maryland. Maryland played Howard today, and they were not very hospitable hosts. They won that one 79-0.
Oh.
So, you kind of always wonder how they're going to react after that. Jonathan Bennett in there now, quarterback, as the freshman getting a look here late in this one. A freshman out of Summerville, South Carolina, dual threat guy that a lot of folks are excited about.
Jonathan Bennett is a true freshman, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, he's not a redshirt freshman.
He did come enroll early, so he was here for the spring season, which helps quite a bit.
Physically, watch him at practice, he is a really good-looking kid.
Swinging out near side, catch made. Short pickup there to DeMario Douglas. Yeah, Bennett, a guy, good football IQ. A kid that, you just talk to him and you think, boy, this kid, whatever you do in life, even beyond football, this kid's going to be a good one. He's a smart kid, especially for his age. As he stands in the pocket, fires. That one off the hands of Kevin Shaw, but a flag comes in, and the Flames are going to pick up a first down on a pass interference call. Remember, Liberty was wondering until earlier this week whether they were going to have quarterback Malik Willis.
Number 3, defense, automatic.
Transfer from Auburn at the quarterback position. He had put in for a waiver to play right away Flames go through all of camp, practice waiting to find out. And they found out on Wednesday that he was not granted that waiver. So he has to sit out this year. Will then have 2 years of eligibility remaining.
And that's a shame for that to happen. You know, these NCAA waiver things, you never know how those things are going to go.
Run there at Pickett, not much doing. As they'll bring up second down. Yeah, it was worth the shot, certainly, for Willis. And they definitely have given Hugh Freeze another toy in this offense. But as it is, they'll have to wait and have him for a couple of years. And then, who knows, maybe he and Jonathan Bennett will be battling for that starting spot.
Jonathan Bennett can spin it. I mean, he's a couple throws. You watch it come out of his hand. It's a quick release, and he's got some arm strength. Watch this throw right here. Back.
Slaying it downfield.
Good coverage.
And overshot Shadro Lewis, his intended receiver. Couldn't quite get on the same page there. It was good coverage, as you said, down the field. Stritzinger there in coverage. Junior out of Detroit. So a minute 37 to go in this ball game. Syracuse far from what they would call a perfect performance, all told, but defensively, boy, so much to like. Bennett slinging it down the middle of the field, couldn't connect with Douglas. And
yeah, you look at this Syracuse defense. You know, Matt, when they're talking about players, right? There's players, and in the coaching world, they call them guys. You hear all these this guy and that guy. But you know what the compliment is when you know that you're just no longer a guy?
What's that?
It's when they start calling you dudes.
Oh yeah, they got some dudes.
This guy's a dude.
Yeah, they
got a few dudes. Like in Syracuse, right? They came in early on. Dino's taking over the program. They had a bunch of guys. Now you're looking at that defense, and you're like, they're loaded with dudes. 2 defense ends at safety.
It's going to be fun seeing what this team's able to do the rest of the season. And a lot of it will probably hinge on, as Riley takes the fair catch, will hinge on the development of their young quarterback. Because we see the defense tonight. We see what's in place there. The question now, and I think, too, we all know Dino Babers, the offensive mind that he is, he's going to get these guys to improve. But that's an area where you look at it and say, okay, there's some room for growth there compared, just based off of what we saw here tonight.
But DeVito's a good quarterback, and this is a confidence. He's come to on a road game, and to be able to not necessarily play great and put up great stats or anything like that, but to get a 24-0 victory on the road is a good confidence builder for him, and you'll see drastic improvement, I think, because I think he can play. You'll see drastic improvement out of his game for the rest of the season.
Well, his night is done. Clayton Welch in there now to help salt this one away. Give up the middle, clock running. Jarvion Howard takes the handoff. Clock ticks down towards a minute to go. Well, you never know what to expect week 1. As you say, Joe, biggest improvement usually comes between week 1 and 2, so we'll keep an eye on both of these squads next week and see how they're able to improve on what we saw here tonight. I think both head coaches know we got to get better offensively.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the first points of the season for Liberty University. We'll have to hold on to next home game.
We'll have to head on down, see if they can get them against the Raging Cajuns.
It's a great name.
That is a good name. So they'll hit the road and see how they fare there.
I don't want to fight a Raging Cajun.
No way.
You say, who do you want to fight? Well, okay, I'll fight the Tigers or the Bears. You really don't want to fight them either.
But I'll fight anybody that's raging.
But not a Raging Cajun.
As coaches begin to walk out towards midfield, and you see, look at that classy move. Dino motioning up to Hugh Freeze, the thumbs up back to him. A lot of respect between those two guys, and Dino, classy guy that he is, nobody feels worse about Hugh Freeze's situation than Dino Babers. These guys have both worked a long time in this business, and Joe, a lot of respect between head coaches.
Coaching fraternity is a tight fraternity, and Dino Babers is a classy man, and he runs a classy program.
He certainly does, and it's a program that continues to have an upward trajectory as they pick up Their first win of the season here tonight in shutout fashion, 24-0. They shut out the Flames here in Lynchburg. So you come on the road, hostile environment, home opener for Liberty. Bottom line, Syracuse has to be thrilled. They're just getting out of here with a W.
Business trip. It's a business trip. You just look at the personality of their team and how they act and how their head coach acts, and it's a business trip, and they came in here, they got the job done. Now they move on into, like you said, a tough Atlantic ACC division, and be exciting for them the rest of the season.
So Syracuse takes it 24-0 the final. For Joe Iacomelli Newman, I'm Matt Warner. Remember, you can watch all ESPN broadcasts archived on the Watch ESPN app. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight from Lynchburg, Virginia. One last time, Syracuse wins it by the final of 24-0.